Mic check. Our mics checked. We're checking some mics. Doing the mic check thing. It sound all good? Ooh, okay. All right. Putting it off long enough. It's a live stream, kinda. How's everybody doing this Saturday night? I am on like the wrong side of the camera. Let's do like that. Is that better? Is it good enough for you, chat? Oh god, I need a new monitor. Please go up. Thank you. Maybe. Or, yeah, no, it's over here. Over here is where I want to be. All right, I forgot about Deltarune actually finally coming out. I wonder if I'll pick that up or not. Yeah, it's been so long. I'm not a Mac, I'm a Peterbilt. That reminds me, Solidus found like a Mac Tools blaster he picked up for me. So, Billy Bobberson, I am a thing. We'll just put it that way. What a month. What a terrible, awful month. But at least the weather's nicer. I'm actually sweating up here right now. I'm actually not sure what the temp is up here right now, but yeah, it's a warm day, at least in the Pacific Northwest. Striker 2.0 at Goodwill. Ooh, that's a good vibe. Imagine when we start finding like Venom Pros and stuff at Goodwill. It's gonna be great. Honestly, Captain Shotgun, pretty awful, but that's why we're streaming. We gotta ease back into it. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not dead. And also, I haven't quit. I've just been busy and low energy for the past couple of weeks. Just about everything that could go wrong has gone wrong, and my life is irreparably changed, but we're gonna push forward, because that's what we do. So I'm gonna stream, talk to some people, get myself back in the mood. I have been filming, don't you worry. I have also actually like done stuff you haven't seen. But if you're willing, if you could take a minute, if I could borrow a minute of your time. I did a thing, and I would appreciate your feedback. So, if you would, I'm actually gonna put this in the chat and pin it. I did a thing, and I would like your feedback. So if you have a minute, check that out. It's pinned in the chat. It is a short. I made a short. I made a dozen of them. So hopefully they're okay. Hopefully they're interesting. Hopefully you like them. Give me, like, if you don't like them, I'm not going to put them up. I'm not going to waste my time. But I did do a lot of them. How's it feel being the largest Nerf creator? That's not even remotely true, Carter Plug. There are so many channels that do Nerf. There are big, huge channels that do one little Nerf thing and get millions of views. And so there's no way I'm the big... I might be the biggest, literally, physically, if you were dissing me. Not that I haven't gone my entire life, you know, dealing with fat jokes. It was funny, because, like, during the pandemic, when I was down to, like, 280, not only did I not feel skinnier, but I still got the same amount of fat jokes. So... I think I've lost weight, I'm fairly certain, in the past, like, year and a half or so. So, I want to find a new Vulcan, because my one is dead, electronics are fried. I mean, Vulcans are everywhere. I mean, I realize people don't like shorts, but, yeah. The hanging dart is gas. I have been doing stuff. So in the background of my life related to the actual channel and stuff like that, I've filmed a bunch of stuff. I'm working on a bunch of stuff. I have completely redone the range, as you have probably seen if you clicked on that short. I have started the semblance of an actual workshop area where this desk and everything used to be. I moved it over to the set, so that makes my workflow a lot easier. And then on the other side, I've thrown away practically everything. I've organized boxes. I've cleaned up the mess that Solonese left for me. And then I got a CNC machine. This is not something I purchased. This was something sent to me by a company. Here's the thing. See this? I made this. Oh, well, rather a machine made this, but here's another one. So I've been doing things, learning, having fun. It's very time consuming, and I'm an idiot, so it's even harder. But we got a CNC machine that'll do all sorts of things. Here's one of the, like, practice. It's going to be impossible to focus on it. Here's one of the practice things that shows you what it can do. Let me get that, might cover my eyes. There we go. Here's using the 4th axis, which I'm starting to figure out why it wouldn't work with custom stuff, but this is a 4th axis thing. These are all like the starter tutorial projects. So yeah, I've been playing around with that for all week, learning that. I've also been building a blaster for a video. I got a 3D printer in, and so I got another Bamboo Lab sponsorship. They sent me another A1, but I might save that A1 because I might use it to bribe you guys. How does that sound? I almost need to open it. If they want the video by the end of the month, I might have to open it because the blaster imprinting is way bigger than I expected it to be. But I may use that printer to bribe people. Because if I don't open it, it's way easier for me to do that. If I open it, I have to make sure I figure out how to, like, put everything back together, because they put certain screws and stuff in and everything for shipping, so I'd have to completely undo that. I only take bribes at a cost, says Dizzy Dragon. Okay. The Nerf blasters you don't use should make a Nerf thrift store. I've thought about, I just don't really have the time or the motivation to deal with that. There is a lot of, like, work that has to be done on that. Everyone's been getting those Carvera things. I had no idea it was that popular. I'm pretty happy with mine. I've been doing a lot of stuff. How close is your shooting stance to your target? I feel like you should back up a little bit more to be realistic engagement range. That's not the point. I'm not shooting at a 2,000-foot target. You know what I mean? You kind of miss the point of the entire shooting range. If I'm 100 feet back, somebody will tell me you need to be 150 feet back. If I'm 15 feet back, people tell me you need to be 100 feet back. It's like, no matter what I do, it's going to wind up being like that. The point is that the center of the target that I'm shooting at is half an inch. And it's 22 feet away from me now. So, like, if that's not enough, I'm sorry. I have to also film it. You realize that? So, I don't know. I can't please anyone with it. I had the cage. Like, everybody seemed to like the cage. The cage was 13 feet away, and nobody said a single word. But the second I removed the cage, everybody tells me it's not far enough back. Where it's at right now, I think is the appropriate, like, testing bed. Because if it's too far away, stock Nerf won't even have it. It already doesn't have a chance. But yeah, I like it. That's also why I do the outside range testing. Yeah, the outside. It's not, so the indoor stuff is not supposed to be range testing. It's supposed to be like accuracy testing. And then everybody's like, well, you need to hook up a robot and have a lead sled and have a remote trigger and everything to also auto prime all your blast. It's like, that doesn't work. Like, people, like, I have to physically prime the blaster back most of the time, or rev flywheels and fire. And it's like every single person is an expert on this, and these are all things that I can't really do. I did have like a shooter rest thing. It doesn't work with Nerf. The magazines are too long. Rock. You have to actually prime the blaster. It's a nightmare. And then there comes like, if it's too far away, you can't actually see stuff, even though I have the little camera. So I'm trying to get the best of everything, but you got to remember, like the e-shooter targets, those are small. Those are smaller than my hand. And at 22 feet away, it's actually kind of a challenge. It's not meant to be like, oh my God, you're shooting at 150 feet. It's, can you hit the target, and can you hit the target reliably? That's the entire point. I'm just saying that when you review blasters, nobody's shooting at targets that size. For more authentic, it could be a human-sized target at 30 feet. I understand the filming is hard too. I've thought about that to a degree, Boomer. I have thought about getting like one of those, either a mannequin or getting like one of those, like MMA training dummies. But the target itself, the entire point of this is to kind of show off is the blaster, how far do shots deviate? Can you control it at all? And then, of course, my thing, like, I can tell you if I aim at a target and fire it and the dart goes 4 inches to the right, that's probably not me. I have fired literally hundreds of thousands of foam darts in my time. So I'm trying to get some kind of balance here. And it's not just you, it's a lot of people, but at the same time, everybody else seems to be fine with it. And I just don't know what to do. Because, like, I could do, an outdoor range and all this stuff, but then you wouldn't be able to see it. Or you'd see, like, very blurry footage in the background, and it just doesn't really work. Trying to get both things, like, I'm doing a lot of work to try to encompass everything, and it's kind of frustrating where it's like every single, like, dude, I know how to make you the best Nerf YouTuber. You should do an outdoor range. It's like, well, 1, I live in the Pacific Northwest, and 2, it's, like, impossible to film. I want to do one, and it would require a lot of capital to do so. I could do one, but is that going to be better or worse than what I'm already doing? Is it worth that investment? And also, an outdoor, like, accuracy range test, is that indicative of what the blaster can actually do? Because if you live in the Himalayas, is the blaster going to perform the same as it does in Washington? No, of course freaking not. So it's such a pain. And then I also realize, in my head, it's like, well, I've told you how hard the blaster hits, so if I'm shooting indoors, you can see the darts flying back, you can tell that that blaster probably hits pretty hard. But I realized one of the biggest problems with what we do in this entire community is that we shoot darts at, like, indoors or at targets and stuff like that, and the normie can't quite, even with an actual, like, measured out range, can't equate that. When they walk into a Walmart and they see NERF Ultra, for instance, or whatever, and it's like 125-foot range claims, and they buy it and the darts barely go 70 feet with an angle, but then they go out and, like, if they've never seen, like, a Nexus Pro X or anything like that, and they start using those blasters, they're gonna be like, holy crap, like, this has the same 125-foot range, but this thing actually seems to hit double what my NERF Ultra did. And a lot of people still think of, like, foam darts and Nerf as, like, Nerf N-Strike. So it's pretty difficult. And at the same time, it's like I'm trying to do something that is the best of both worlds. I have setups going, but, and I'm not trying to reject feedback or anything. It is important, but it's like I can't win. And it's somewhat frustrating as a creator when it's like, no matter what you do, somebody is smarter than you and they need to let you know that. And I'm not sure, like, is the indoor range, like, is that short actually that bad? Is it not entertaining at all? Does it not demonstrate what the blaster can do? Then it's back to the drawing board. Like, I have to just accept that. I'm trying to, I mean, there's a lot of effort that went into that short. I'm trying to do something that shows what the blaster can do as, like, it's a teaser, but it's also a self-encompassing thing. And if you want to see the actual product in its entirety, instead of me just advertising a video like, hey, check out my full-length video, this thing's really cool, there's a link down in the description, buy it now, and doing that 8,000 times, I'm trying to actually give you something that is a little bit more difficult for me to get in a full-length video. And I'm also trying to straddle that line between, you can watch the full-length videos for me doing all of my stuff, but also if you want a taste of what the blaster can do without watching a 15-minute long YouTube video, you can also look at the short, and if you know the hobby and everything, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool, I might pick one of those up. I'm trying to look at this from, like, 17 different directions, and that's why I'm kind of asking for feedback. So I'm not trying to dismiss what you're saying, Boomer. It's just like, that's the first thing everybody, you have no idea. Everybody's like, what ranges are you firing at, Walcom? You're not firing at 50 feet. Your range is garbage. You should just get rid of it. I don't know why you wasted money on that. 50 feet isn't even nothing. You should do 200 feet. You should be 200 feet back. What kind of, you can't aim targets past 22 feet, Walcom? It's kind of frustrating. You can imagine so. And I encourage you to go out and buy gunpowder SMTs, modify them in the way I did so you can get video capture out of them, and set them up in your own indoor range and show me how it's done. I totally encourage that, because then I can just steal it from you and pretend I came up with it. I might try to get into Nerf content, but I have a feeling getting canned for uploading a Nerf collection video. I mean, have fun. If you want to have fun with it, have fun with it. This should be your first thing. If you ever want to lose faith in humanity, go to, like, the small YouTuber subreddit or something and scroll through it and see how depressing people are. Sorry, I didn't see those. We got Classic for Real's been a member for 22 months. You can send a super chat or become a channel member and do this. P.S. Happy almost 2 years being a channel member plus birth month. Well, thank you very much, Classic for Real. Yes, you can do all those things if you want. They are obviously not a requirement. I do this just to chill, have fun, talk to people, build some kind of community repertoire with you guys. Homely has been around since the very beginning. Some people complain no matter what you do, just be you, boss, love ya. There is that hidden rule, isn't there, Homely, where it's like you should never ask for feedback, ever, because you're never going to get the right answer. And it's kind of true to a degree, but I feel like I feel like I should at least get some kind of idea, because you guys might think it's great, and it will just perform terribly because it's actually a terrible idea and you're just being nice. So the feedback is appreciated. You definitely looked into those targets. Yikes, and the price, people complain too much. So the first one I bought was like, what, 500 something? And then shipping was like another 150. And that was back in like, what, 2019, 2020? And then the other two I bought, I actually bought those off someone who was selling them secondhand, and I got a steal. That's why I have 3 of them. Only range I'm concerned is 10 to 25 feet. That's the range most of the time engaged during HED. The actual engagement ranges for Nerf are actually well within 50 feet most of the time. And that's the thing. So like if I can't, and this is a lot on my skill, and I realize that, I would hope that rather I can't ever, you know, I'm not going to say I'm the best aimer in the world or anything like that, but I would hope that people would understand. I've been doing this for a long time. I've fired a lot of blasters. I kind of know my way around them at this point. And if I can't reliably hit a target, and I'm telling you it's not me, it's probably not me. The ammo that we use in this hobby and the way everything works out with the humidity, the barrel condition, like whether it's if it's too hot, the foam swells more, contracts more. I think it's actually the foam swells more, gets softer, more malleable. It doesn't seal as well, or it seals too much. All these are factors that really airsofters and paintballers and, you know, real steel to most of the effect. They don't have to deal with that. Nerf is very temperamental, and of course we have a large variety of very cheap mass-produced foam darts that if you fire them once, they're pretty much never going to be the same, and nobody can afford to do that, certainly not I. So it does become that point where it's like I'm trying my best, but I think people are expecting too much. I want to somewhat emulate a more like firearms related channel in that regard, but I also want to point out these are toys. And like one of the reasons like I like the high performance blasters because they are fun to shoot at targets. Actual Nerf blasters are pretty terrible at it. I don't think I've ever had a stock Nerf blaster that felt even remotely like it's worth using against a target. It kind of sucks in that regard. I think Nerf has too many elitists. It absolutely does, Lord Popcorn. If it wasn't near impossible, I think a Super Max 1500 missile shooter tag back would be cool. Yeah, I'll never find one, and when I do, I won't have the, God, 4 figures to buy one. They're expensive. The most expensive thing I ever bought, besides the crossbow, that's a complete in-box crossbow. The one that's on my wall, the stickers aren't even peeled off yet. I bought this. This was very, very expensive. I don't want to tell you how much money I paid for this, but I have one. And I knew, like, if I passed this up, I'd probably never find another one. So, I have some other, like, very rare things that unfortunately aren't complete, like this. Good luck finding one of these to even purchase. I say that, and saying that, I'm sure somebody will look, here's one on eBay right now. If that is the fact, if you're looking one up, you found one of these on eBay, just buy it. Because these are ludicrously expensive. They are very rare. And the stock is snapped off that one. I haven't seen it anywhere in the boxes. But there are some extremely rare and valuable things. Like, how many of these are floating out there, right? Right? Like, I have some crazy stuff. So, will I ever have a Supermax, you know, 1500? Yeah, probably not. It's probably never going to happen. Did you ever review the Sportsman? Yes, I did. I have one. They are very rare. How do you feel about Etsy string-powered Nerf blasters? String-powered Nerf blasters are cool. I don't know if they're worth buying. They are cool to make, but they max out at like 100 FPS. You missed your son's first birthday for this? Well, Zero, that's bad. You should not do that. Does it work? All those things work as far as I know. I think Michael Allen Korpka wants to know more about the Maraca. Maracas are pretty cool. Again, I don't know if I'd buy one because they're pretty easy to print unless it's like a really good price and you want a fun toy. They are very fun to build though. That's, I think, the strongest thing. Or it's like, if you have a printer and you want to give some people some fun, inexpensive, decently performing blasters, those are ace. I hate the Alpha Strike so much. I found a Flight CS10 and I thought it was the old one. I love the Flight. I actually really like the Flight. People can be idiots, but they can also be stupid. Saying something stupid is normal, but idiotic is just not as nice as human when it draws the line. I mean, that's the human condition, isn't it? Hey, Aiden. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming out. I think the issue is with dart blasts is they aren't universal. What I mean is that they most aren't compatible with any darts in the battlefield. Just saying a blaster is a hassle to use sometimes. I mean, for the most part, they kind of are. There's, you know, over a dozen potential ammo types, but for the most part, it's 50 cal darts. That's usually, and rival. You rotate through targets as you're shooting. I feel like that's already the best real world test for blasters. If you hit all 3 tightening targets above the string, that's accurate. I think those are 3-inch targets, if I'm not mistaken. Like, you gotta remember, the actual black spot on the target is half an inch, and I'm 22 feet away firing a foam dart at that. So, weird question, but Ed, have you heard anything from the maker of the O Snap? Jimmy? No, I haven't heard from Jimmy in a very long time. I do hope they're doing well. What printer should I get to print a battle axe? Bamboo A1 is my optimal choice. Especially with what I've been doing with it the last couple of days, it is absolutely ace. Flight is good, but Alpha Strike just kind of surprised me with how devolved they are. I just got done. Man, this script, I can't show it. I have an obnoxiously long script that took me hours. You should see this video this week. It was the entirety of NERF Ultra. And a lot of people hate NERF Ultra, rightfully so. But with the state of NERF right now, especially in the post-Elite 2.0 world, I miss NERF Ultra. I sincerely do. Yeah, I think NERF Ultra was ahead of its time. There was a point where NERF Ultra really was the last bastion of NERF at its peak. And yeah, Money No Object, A1 or P1? I do believe the P1 is a slightly better printer, but I think the A1 is way cheaper. And if you don't need the enclosure, I think the A1 is the better option. I think the AMS, yes, the AMS and the AMS Pro or whatever they just had come out, those are sealed systems and those are very good. And I'm not sure exactly how the AMS Pro works. I've never really looked into how the HD2 or HD2 or whatever in the AMS Pro works. But the original AMS, I think, is pretty flawed design. I think the AMS Lite is really well designed. And when you combine those two together, it's like, it just works like a dream. And I don't think you can use the AMS Lite on like the P1, P1P, P1S. I honestly think the A1 is perfect for almost everybody. I don't think you need more than that. I would rather have not bought my X1 Carbon and bought like 5 A1s. X1 Carbons are great if you're going to print really weird, very high-end filaments, but I don't. I barely even print Petchy. So perhaps we treated Ultra too harshly. I think the appropriate reaction to that, Dizzy Dragon, is that I think NERF should have put more effort into NERF Ultra. Now that the A1s are back to a pretty reasonable price, I highly recommend them. Again, I have one. I kind of want to unbox it just because I need the speed. I need a third decent sized printer to plow through this blaster that takes like $100-something in filament to print. Those who know. Tag says the A1 Mini. I actually really like my A1 Mini. I put a 0.02 or 0.2 nozzle on mine for the high resolution stuff. I really like it. I don't think I would ever get rid of that A1 Mini. It's tiny and it's very capable for what it is. The problem is like, there are a lot of things you can't print because that printer is too small. It's not much smaller on paper, but once you get one compared to the A1, you'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is less capable. If you don't plan on doing a lot of big things, and more creators are pushing their blasters to be printable on a 180 by 180 print bed, like the A1 Mini, I think it's fine. And of course, budget is the biggest thing. Like, if you literally just can't do the budget, A1 is gonna be fine. They were, what, $200, and that was a steal. Now they're a little bit more, but I don't think they're that bad. They're probably $299, $249 right now. And for that, yeah, it's kind of hard to beat. There are some new options coming out. I think, I'm trying to remember. There is a lot of little printers that are coming out that are really good. There's like a $400 fully enclosed Core XY thing. I can't remember what company put that out, and it looked pretty good. I haven't seen reviews on it. My thing is like, I have never had an issue with a bamboo printer. I've had my X1 Carbon for 2 years now. I've had, you know, God knows how many print hours through all 3 of them at this point. I kind of have a hard time when it's like, I spent more time fixing any of my Creality printers more than I did printing with them. And I've never had to fix a bamboo printer in the slightest. I don't even think I've had to replace. The worst I've ever had to do is like oil a screw. That's it. My P1S has never led me wrong. See, I don't even have those, but I know they're very similar to like the X1s. Should I get a BK1 for CQB? I would wait for the xshot AEB. Unless you live outside of America, then yeah, go for it. Remember that guy who made videos actually objectively critiquing Ultra, highlighting positive as well as faults, saying Nerf could do things. Oh yeah. I'm that slut that really wants to get off the 50 caliber foam dart. I think Boomco was a better dart and could have been the perfect dart. I think Ultra had a chance to be a better dart, but 50 caliber darts are cheap and people are married to them. It's kind of hard. If there was a new dart that came out tomorrow. Like, I'm never going to let you guys live this down, okay? Everybody complains about dart compatibility. Everyone's like, there are still people out there like, I don't want to use short darts. I'm going to use long darts because they work with my favorite blasters. And that's fine. That's whatever. I bet you like Nerf Rival. And nobody complained about Nerf Rival, right? Nobody. I don't remember a single person ever saying, oh my God, I hate Nerf Rifle because it's a new ammo type and I don't want that. I just want to use 50 caliber foam. I'm saying that, I'm sure that somebody was, but everybody loves Rifle. Like, people are actually mourning the fact that Nerf isn't doing Nerf Rifle anymore. I don't think the ammo type is the problem. If you make good blasters that use a new dart, it's gonna be fine. People are gonna get over that real quick, especially if it's economical to get into. N-Series is pretty economical to get into. It could be a lot worse. It could be Nerf Ultra. But it's pretty reasonable from a Hasbro standpoint to get into. The problem is there's just no reason to do it. Nerf N-Series doesn't do anything that standard foam darts couldn't do. That's the problem. Creality was junk. I was so happy when I got my X1 Carbon. Man, see, it's like, I would never recommend the X1 Carbon, but it is pretty okay to have. That's for sure. I really want a traditional printer. My Form 2 is awesome, but it's costly to run. I have no idea what a Form 2 is. Is that like a SLS printer or something? Or is that a SLA printer? Oh yeah, it's an SLA printer. Yeah, that's not quite the same. I actually have never used an SLA printer. I'm sure at some point somebody's going to send me one, but yeah, I've never used one. I don't even know exactly what I'd use an SLA printer for. I have no idea. I actually have no clue. What would you use an SLA printer for in Nerf? Charms? Decals? I try to keep my blasters open to short and standard life darts. My rival pilot is the start. I hope to do more universal mod blasters. Those are fine, Jimmy Bab, but like, unless you're like a special role of like an HVZ, that wouldn't be optimal. I think you could do a lot of work with, I think Rival and Mega. If I were to do HVZ tomorrow, I would be building a purpose-built mag, or like I would try to like trick out a Mastodon or something to be like the best Mega dart shooter, because I think Mega is pretty much, you're capable of carrying enough darts to do everything you need to. You can easily scavenge your darts because they're nice and big, and as long as you can keep a decent capacity, a decent rate of fire, and a decent reload speed, I honestly don't see, maybe there's something in HVZ. I certainly have never seen it where it's like, why would you not use Mega? Right? Like, we can talk about the theory crafting behind that. I honestly do not know why you would ever use something not Mega Dart in HVZ. Because think of like the Megalodon. That thing is like this big. Sure, it's also like this wide, but it's relatively compact for what it is. It's not that like heavy. You can clip it on your belt, clip it to your chest. You can just zip tie down the trigger and just have the thing hanging there, and you can just like reach up and start priming it or something against your shoulder and just lob Mega Dart after Mega Dart at 100 FPS or whatever it is. Like, why would you use any other blaster? And then when you've tagged out the zombie, you can try to pick up your darts before they do. I know some games now use zombies picking up darts as a way to not only clean darts, but also give them bonuses, like XP. But other than that, like, I don't know why you'd ever use something that wasn't Mega. I honestly cannot fathom it. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody in HVZ specialize in using Nerf Mega. I've seen people use Nerf Mega, but I've never seen somebody like, here's my custom, full auto Nerf Rival Chaos that I put into using Centurion mags and stuff like that, or here's my cut down super ergo Nerf Megalodon or Mastodon, so I could just, I've never seen anybody really do that, and it confuses me that that's not more of a thing, because holy crap, like, I don't know why I'd ever not use Mega, unless there's like, oh, this zombie can't be tagged out by Mega, because most of the time it's the other way around. Megas are what got me into the... Mega is so cool. Hasbro just sucks at supporting their ammo types. Commander Wolf, what are your thoughts? There could ever be a short version of Boomco? Yeah, they would have worked. I think all you really need to do is change the dart head material to foam, even if it's like a harder foam, even if it's like that EPP stuff. Like, imagine like the EPP, like Ultra Foam as a dart head. It might work. You might still need like a rubber head or something on it though, I'm not sure. But yeah, short Boomco would work. You just need to figure out the breach system, and having the rubber head is not conducive to that. I'm pretty excited to see what the hobby uses rapid liquid printing once it's available for personal use. Yeah, I have no idea. You and Xavier, the two sole Nerf YouTubers keeping this hobby alive with live streams. I mean, I do it just because I can talk to people and it's an excuse to be like, hey, I'm still here. I do like doing live streams. It kind of blows. It's like, oh, here's 82 people watching. I'm literally just sitting here rambling forever, answering questions. Basically always just a Q&A session. I'm not really entertaining anybody, I don't think. I even was like laying there about an hour ago with the wife, and I was like, I don't know if I want to stream today. I've been working. I've been up since like 11 p.m. last night. I took a two-hour nap, hour and a half long nap, and then came back up here. I've been moving furniture all week. I've been, playing around with the CNC stuff, which is pretty fruitful so far. The program I have to learn. I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and learn how to use Fusion 360, which Hawkeye has been giving me a crash course in. But the tool pathing generation for the software for the Carvera Air just doesn't work. It does and it doesn't. I just picked up one of the AF Cricket Pros thanks to your video. It's awesome. The best $7 you can spend. I like to be able to weaponize my knowledge in some way, Jimmy Bab, because like really there's no other use for my knowledge. I've been doing this for over a decade now. And that's kind of the cool thing, is that like I do get excited to like, I'm going to go back and talk about stuff in this hobby because I lived through it and give you my take on it. That's why it's like when I sat down, a couple of days ago, I'm like, I'm going to do a Nerf Ultra video. We have all the Nerf Ultra blasters in one place now, so let's do a Nerf Ultra video. And then I found out, like, as I was writing this script, which is not something I generally do. Almost all of my videos are unscripted, but for this, I kind of need to have a script. Whether I adhere to that script or not is a completely different story. But I wanted to kind of set this because it's like, yeah, I was there from the very beginning. It was only a couple of years ago, mind you, but I was also in the hobby years before that. So I kind of remember how things went down, how for all of like 12 seconds, people were excited for Nerf Ultra until they figured out that it's for ages 8 and up. And that completely ruined anybody's love for Nerf Ultra. Are you using Autodesk for CAD? Fusion 360 is what you can... I don't really do, you know, CAD stuff. Design is not my forte. I have done design. I have made things. But most of that was in Tinkercad, which is way simpler for my little, you know, hamster brain to understand. But I have to learn it. And so Hawkeye has been teaching me Fusion 360 because that's what he uses, and he's a professional machinist. Make a metal trigger, that's on the list. The fact that I could make this, yeah, that opens up a world of possibilities. I can use, thankfully Mighty Shrub had the step files for this in the stuff for the Smiley, but I can use an STL. I just can't do as much with it as I would probably need to generate it into a 3D pathing. And as for the fourth axis stuff, I think I've kind of figured out how to make this work, but the program is like, when you start changing size, the program just completely poops itself. There is a setting. I was trying to figure it out because my biggest issue with these was trying to get them thin enough, right? And it should be easy. If my material is 8.3 millimeters thick, then if I need the part to be 6.5 millimeters thick, I would obviously take off, you know, whatever that is math-wise, 2.7, 1.7, whatever. I think it was 1.7 millimeters. And yet, every time I did that math, I would get a part and it would be way too thick. And I couldn't figure out why. So I started watching videos and stuff, and then I was watching a video where it's like, it was talking about the different ways that you can have a relief cut work. And one of them was object boundary, which is the model itself. And then there's material boundary, which is the surface of the material. Now, I noticed when I was programming and toolpathing the relief cut, it starts above the material. And then like it does like air and then it goes down into the thing. And it's so like that's throwing off the calculations. So I was like, okay, I need to make it start at the material. So I clicked the material boundary and the computer would crash. And I tried it multiple times. I tried restarting. I tried literally everything. I tried different objects. Every single time I click that button, the program crashes. Just like that. Not the best software. So that is pushing me towards like, crap, I have to learn Fusion 360 and throw away all the stuff I've been learning. Make iron sights? I definitely could. The problem is getting material that's thick enough to do that, right? Like I need to get stuff like this, but in aluminum. What was on that? So, I mean, it's not impossible, but it's also going to get pretty expensive. Think of most of it is in Tinkercad. I mean, I like Tinkercad. It's very easy for me to understand because it's more physical. It's very limited though. You've seen the leaked images of Buzzbee's new Mayhem line? I don't think so. I might have if it was like a couple of weeks to a month ago. And I remember nothing really standing out, so I didn't really think about it. I'm trying to remember. I have a rare retaliator, but I spring swapped it and broke itself completely. I don't think there is a rare retaliator, is there? Is there a rare retaliator? Even like the Sonic Ice one isn't really that hard to come by. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, Mr. Grumble. Mega Mastodon with a 3D printed extended drum. I couldn't imagine that thing being even bigger. What I would like to be is a Mega Mastodon with a 3D printed drum that has rear loading because it's a flywheeler. It doesn't need to have a seal on it. So yeah, Mega Mastodon with rear loading drum would be perfect. Yeah, I've seen people make them mag-fed too. I mean, it's not that hard. Can't disagree about Tinkercad at least being halfway comprehensible. It is really easy to understand because it's like shoving blocks together and making shapes out of it. Just tuned to listen to the stream while I finish my Fallout Power Armor build. Happy to see you streaming tonight, Walcom. Hope your week has begun. It hasn't been, Gavin, but gosh, I hope you finish that Power Armor and it is as amazing as you want it to be. I made my Desperado chain fed. I would like to see that, Goji King. I would very much like to see that. I very much wanted a chain fed revolver of some description, and I've seen like one that kind of worked. I would like to see a purpose-built one. Has Domo done that? Domo, have you done a chain fed? Have you done a chain fed xshot micro? Files on printables? Oh, Goji. Can you post it in the Discord real quick for me? I might get that on the printer right now. Any future tag back or trash treasure? I did find the blasters for the Nerf dumpster diving. I do have blasters set aside for tag back. They're actually sitting over here. We will get into that. I do also have the, I've been talking about doing this for a long time, the Oozinator. I just need help with that. I need somebody to shoot me with it, so I'm excited for that one. That's gonna be a fun video, and Summer's here. I also have, I'm actually disgusted in this. If I showed you how many CPS 2000s and CPS 2500s I have, you would puke. Granted, a lot of them are broken in some capacity. And here's the weird thing, it's like, if somebody wanted to take those off my hands, I'd probably just give them to you. I just don't want to ship them. I only need, like, the two really good ones. And I have the two really good ones, and they are both like the originals, not the ones that they had to modify because they were like tearing kids' eyes out and stuff. So that's going to be a fun video. I also have a CPS 3000 with the backpack. I just haven't seen if it works yet. And since it's going to be summer, I think we're going to do some water gun stuff. The problem is, like, the water gun videos just don't get views. We'll see. I believe there's a chain-fed Desperado mod on printables. Goji, files on printables. Okay, let's check it out. Printables.com. Oh, I like the little trash pandas. Is it just Desperado chain? Oh, snap. Adventure Force Desperado chain feed. Drop-in modification, no shell cutting for the Adventure Force does to convert a 6-shot shell into at least 10 darts long, but probably much more. The links are ribbed, somewhat like the inverse of... That's probably the closest I will ever get to my Caldwell conversion in Nerf. Downloading that. Are you Machine Boy Zach? Goji? Or you just made one? I'll download that. It's probably a virus. Chain feed thing for the Outlaw? Yep. Is that on printables? How have I not seen this? What? Okay. I mean, on paper, it's a really easy thing. That's, oh my god, there's 2 videos right there I have to do. Actually, I'll probably put both of those in one video. But yeah, I'm doing those. You have a Mark 1 CPS 2000 Super Soaker? Chat, do you want me to go grab them? Because I know exactly where they are right now. I'm going to go grab them. I'll be right back. All right, so there's a lot of them over there. I hope I grabbed the right ones. But is this what you're looking for? Look at that. Is this what you wanted to see? So this is a pretty minty fresh. Needs a little bit of a wipe down. Like a Mark 1 CPS 2000, the one that tore kids' eyeballs out. It probably doesn't work or some horrendous thing like that, but God willing, I've never put water in it. Here is a relatively minty, although there is like 6 of them over there, so it's hard to tell. CPS 2500. This is, I actually thrifted one of these. And when I moved, it disappeared, and I don't know how a blaster this big disappears, but I have a bunch of them now. A lot of them, like, they have, like, broken trigger guards and stuff on them, but this still has, like, the sticker on the tank and everything like that. It's pretty minty. So, yeah, this has got the rotating nozzle, so you can choose your power. And then, by the way, if you've never fired, I'm gonna break stuff. If you've never fired one of those before, when you actually shoot these things, they recoil. Bang! And then, here's the one I'm not sure if it even works. But this is a CPS 3000 with the backpack. Just kind of clicks in there in the back. So, this is probably all one video. Maybe I could stretch it into each one having its own video. I'm not quite sure. I'm hoping this one works. So, yeah, I'm quite happy. I think I have 2 more of these and at least 4 more 2500s in varying states of condition. So, they take up a lot of room, and like I said, most of them are broken in some way. Whether they work or not is a completely different story, but yeah, a lot of them have like broken pieces of plastic and stuff on them. I think I have a shell for 2500 too. So, yeah, those are, I think, pretty expensive for what they are. The only Super Soaker I want that I've never found is a Monster XXL. I have 3 Monster XLs, and I would gladly like craft 2 of them in a Monster XXL if this was Team Fortress. Have actual recoil because water is super heavy and you're shooting like a liter a second. Yeah, there's like that little one that it's like I can't remember. There was a more recent one, like I think early 2000s, tiny pistol that literally you get like 2 shots off of, but it's like it's basically like a mini CPS Super Soaker. It's awesome. I think it's called a triple something. Want to see a Monster XL? Those are way deep out there. I know where I'm not going to try to get one down. I think I'm literally looking at one right now. It's like on the ceiling. I saw a yellow Super Soaker last year that had a purple ting and a sticker at EX Power 4. I have no idea. I have a lot of Super Soakers. And I still have... What is with the $50 Super Chat? Why would you do that, G80? You want some of my beard? Yeah, just ask me. And, I mean, I could at least get a hair or 2 for you. I'd need scissors to get more than that. It doesn't really just come off that easily. This beard's really nice when I've, you know, just showered and I've brushed it and shaped it. No, it's not a neck beard. Thank you very much for the $50 Super Chat. Holy crap. That's amazing, G80. I wonder if it was worth the beard hairs. Are you going to make a meat effigy? Sound off in the chat if you get that reference. If you were to ballpark how many blasters you have total, what would you say then? It's incalculable, Gavin. I need to figure out if I can do like a wireless webcam with this to really give you guys a piece of the action. Otherwise, I could try to use my phone at some point too, because I know the phone, typically you have to like pay for those and they're pretty sketchy programs. There is an entire corner that I literally just have boxes stacked up on top of boxes with just, I'm pretty sure I've went through all the boxes and taken out everything valuable or interesting, but there's still like, you know, Vulcans, like clear Vulcans and stuff in this pile, and it's stacked up to the ceiling. And I don't even know how to begin. I have not touched that since I got the stuff up here and put it over there. And then in the actual collection over there, it's a mess. It's absolutely. So what Solanese and I did, the best way to go about it was he basically would grab a box, bring it to me, show me the blaster, I'd write it down on paper, and then we taped it to the box. And I guess in the near future, to simplify this even more, I'll make a Google Doc, and I'll take every single blaster that's on that list and give that box a designation, like A1. Then, in the future, if I'm like, I need a night finder, I can go into the Google Doc and just like Control F night finder. It would show me what boxes night finders are in. That's probably the easiest way of getting this kind of organization. Also showing people what blasters I have and don't have. There's a lot. Should I print a Zinc or a Talon Claw? Zinc, Goji. Get a Zinc. It's so cool. Get an Elk if you can. Hey, Walcom, what do you think about Airsoft? I don't mind Airsoft. There are two issues I have with Airsoft as a thing. One, it's kind of freaking, what's the word I'm looking for? Psychotic? To have a hyper-realistic analog of a firearm and point it at people willy-nilly and pull trigger at them. I think we can agree there is a mental disconnect you have to do to accomplish this, especially if you own firearms. That's not good, in my opinion, but from a gameplay standpoint, what I don't like about Airsoft is everything. Let's start with my biggest complaint with Airsoft, which is magazines. So, you either have a mil spec, I think is what they call it, mil whatever, where you have like a gigantic magazine, right? Let's say you have like an AR-15 Airsoft, and you have an accurate mag. So this gigantic magazine holds 30 rounds, maybe. When you can also, probably cheaper, buy another magazine that would work for the same gun that holds a couple hundred. Or you can go crazy and get like a winder mag or an auto winder mag and get thousands of rounds on tap and have full auto for all of that. And as a game, that makes it lame. But the other problem I have with Airsoft that doesn't make it very fun, like it can be fun, as much fun as like Nerf is, Airsoft is going to be comparably fun, at least in the short term, where you just, like, if you have all this ammo and you could full auto it, but everybody has the same 6mm BB and maybe a couple of different weight categories, and you're all held back by the jewel limit, then it's kind of all the same thing, which is good, but also bad. And I do realize most arenas also don't allow full auto because getting drilled 6 times in the arm in like the same spot by something that just goes isn't fun. It hurts. It sucks. Even if it's like under the jewel limit, it will stack up pain quickly. And so yeah, I don't like Airsoft for that. Even if you do have like the mil cap magazines, and I have one, you can get those little syringes. And like, so you can just rip out your mag, grab your little syringe, and go, and then it's full back up, ready to go. You reload in half a second. It doesn't even matter. The disconnect for that when it compares to Nerf is that foam darts are not small rigid balls. They take up inventory space. You have to actively care about your foam darts because if they get, you know, squished and bent and stuff like that, they won't work as well. And that's not really a problem with Airsoft. The other thing is that because of these limitations, magazines in Nerf, this is a 15-round mag. There are drum mags. I have drum mags that hold like 50-something rounds. They are gigantic. You want to take care of them. You don't want to just drop one of these mags, and none of the ones I have work, to be fair. And it's like, so everybody uses like the 15 rounds or the 20 rounds, or if you have like the 30 rounders and stuff like that, it's like, this is all calculated choices you have to make. And let's say you have like people like, oh, I want full auto, like 40 darts a second, Walcom. You want that until you have it, and then you use it, and then you realize it's pointless. Full auto in Nerf is almost completely worthless. We just don't have the dart and mag economy to make it work. It does work as like panic button. It does work like if you need to have like a secondary or a sidearm, and you're like, you know, bolt action sniper, like you'd play in Call of Duty, right? Like you're playing Call of Duty, you're using a sniper rifle, your secondary, like, you know, you're using your DMR 50, your secondary is probably dual cap 40s or dual B23Rs. Why? Because you can just pick this out, go, and they're gone. If you're like reloading or they pop up next to you, you hear the footsteps and stuff like that. These are all calculated choices you have to make in foam flinging. In 9 out of 10 games, sidearms and stuff like that are completely worthless, to be honest. It's more of a thing in HVZ, and it's more of a thing in casual round-to-round play. Competitive players don't use them. They don't need to. If their blaster breaks, they're just done. They lose the round, and they go, they use their backup, or they find a backup. So, yeah. That's my opinion on Airsoft. I think I might have talked about that. So one of those issues, Airsoft is not as balanced. No, it is actually incredibly balanced, Red Star. It's, they're all the same. And they're all under a jewel limit. So, really, it's all balanced. It's just not fun. Like, let's say you buy, like, a $1,300 all-metal, fluted barrel, whatever, FPS, bolt-action, you know, sniper rifle. As you do. You're still just shooting the same 6mm BB. Right? Nerf at least has the one thing going for it, where it's like, at any game, you will find Rival, Mega, Mega XL, possibly Vortex, possibly Boomco. You'll find Demolisher rockets, you'll find full-length darts, you'll find short darts, you'll find different qualities of all of this ammunition because everybody does like a different thing. They have different darts. Not everybody's going to be using Worker, not everybody's going to be using Dart Zone. And all of these people have calculated like, oh, my blaster hits 150 FPS with Worker Gen 3s, I need to have 1.2 gram darts to get that under 130, which, again, you kind of do with Airsoft as well. That's why you would have, like, the heavier BBs that you would use in, like, a bolt-action sniper rifle to get under the jewel limit while having the best range and accuracy you could have. But when those are artificial limitations for the most part. When it's, like, shotguns, there are blasters banned in Airsoft because they're just too good. And they're like the pneumatic, like 8-shot, just dun shotguns that just clear out everything. And they have 5,000 round capacity. Like, nobody has fun against those. And it's not hard to do that kind of, it's a little bit hard to do that in Nerf. It really is. There's not really a whole lot of things in Nerf that are broken. AEGs are up there as something that could potentially be a complete game changer and really mess up game balance. But at the same time, the blaster makes the player. And no matter what, there's going to be situations where that blaster will not outperform something, especially in close range. Like, it's way more evened up. The ranges you deal with in Nerf and the way Nerf games are set up, it's like, even if your blaster has an edge, it's still going to have some kind of downside. Like, there is something to be said for, like, you know, the pew-pew, right? Because it's like this tiny full auto thing that can empty a mag instantly or have really good burst fire and stuff like that. And that absolutely removes any point of using, like, a Strife or a Rapid Strike or a Vulcan or pretty much other than fun. The Hydro Cannon was a 2011 blaster. I have quite a few Hydro Cannons myself. That's why you carry a Venom as a secondary. Exactly. I would count the Venom as a sidearm. I have a video coming out because I just got the Dart Zone sent me the blue Outlaw and the blue Venom, and I want to talk about which one's the better sidearm because those are actual true sidearms in Nerf. Single Titan is about the only bland Nerf blaster I can think of. So Single Titans weren't even the best air tanks. They weren't. They're good to a degree, but there's far worse. There's far worse than a Single Titan. The problem with Single Titans is the speed of which air releases. Air release holes on Titans are very small. You need very long barrels to utilize most of that air pressure, and even then, it's not good. That's why, like, 4Bs, like, those were better. They might not have hit the same highest velocities that, like, Titans could, but 4Bs were just better. Less pumps, faster air release. You can have shorter barrels and get higher velocity, stuff like that. Would you rather run a Perseus or run a Nemesis? Perseus. I don't like the Nemesis. I'm sorry. I've never liked the Nemesis. I've always never liked the Nemesis. I'd rather use the Prometheus. I think the Prometheus is better than a Perseus in my opinion. It's not that I hate the Perseus. I just don't like it as much as some other people. I think as a blaster, especially stock, it's fantastic. It's one of the best things Nerf has ever made. But I would rather use a Prometheus. I think shouldering Rival is kind of silly. 4Bs, Buzzbee Big Blast. Titan tanks are better for stuff like Mega XL, Mega, yeah, it is, the bigger ammo. But even then, there's better tanks, but those ammo types are less likely to get destroyed by a Titan tank compared to other things that just dump all their air instantly and just blow apart darts. I mean, yes, of course, anything can pretty much be a primary. Like, that's the thing with, like, sidearm flywheelers. Really, there's no reason not to use them as a primary. It's cool that way, because then you can primary pistols, and everybody loves a primary pistol. But it's like, why would you use a modded Rapid Strike when you could use a modded Strife that does all that stuff in a smaller package? Better yet, why would you use a modded Rapid Strike when you have a purpose-built flywheeler that's 3D printed that does everything you want it to and is going to be better in every single way? It's like, it's mostly down to you like the Strife, you have one laying around, you want to mod it. Same thing with like a Rapid Strike, like you have it around, you want to mod it, stuff like that. But at the grand scheme of things, like that's the biggest issue with the hobby and the community as a whole right now, is that like the need or want to mod is gone. The barrier of entry has gone from a thing that few people can do down to literally just go to Walmart and buy a good blaster. So you gotta remember, like, so it was like, you couldn't, there wasn't calibers and stuff like that in the past. You had to find a blaster, you had to mod it or pay somebody to mod it, buy a pre-modded blaster. And then we started getting the worker and the artifact stuff, and that made things a little bit, we could now buy pre-made breaches instead of having to cut and do all the crazy breach stuff with brass and everything like that. Although people were still doing both at that time because they were comparable things, and buying worker stuff and building a whole, you know, worker prophecy R was expensive. And then we go past that to now there's stuff on store shelves on top of 3D printed blasters that are taking over. So now you could buy a printer, or if you had one, you could make a whole new blaster just buying a cheap hardware kit. And then, like, just past that, now we have, like, Nexus Pros on shelves. We have Nexus Pro X's on shelves. Now we have all these blasters online you can buy. And it's like that barrier of entry keeps going down lower, which I am a fan of, but it does kind of remove that need to go out there and build your own thing. That's the problem. That's the art we're losing. Like 100 years ago, most people could build a house. Most people could farm. Most people could make their own clothes and stuff like that. Now, do you know how to do any of that stuff? There's going to be somebody that say like, oh yeah, no, I can totally build a house. I know, and that's fair. But most people don't. In fact, I'd say almost everybody doesn't. Like, we're losing these skills over time. There's nothing wrong with modding a Strife in 2025. It will be expensive and time consuming to get something that you could just buy off a store shelf. And that loses, that's like, most people are not going to be like, yeah, I'm going to do all this stuff unless they specifically want their own handcrafted thing. And spoiler alert, most people don't. That's why 3D printers are kind of awesome. Because, like, even though you're using somebody else's plans and you're making your own thing, it's real easy for people to be like, yeah, I can just print it out of my own colors and maybe put my own little decal on here, and it's my own blaster, even though it's one of many, but it's my own. We are the last modding generation. We're doomed. Yeah, unless there's, like, something crazy, breakthrough tech-wise. We have on-the-shelf AEGs. The barrier of entry is pretty much at its lowest it's ever been. The problem with the short dart hyperfire, at least if you're talking about the Elite one, Kieran, is the fact that hyperfires use a belt, and the belt can't push the dart into the flywheel cage. It's too short. Maybe if there was like longer flaps on it or something. Maybe if you like ground the cage down to put it closer to the belt, have the belt kind of clip into it a little bit. But out of the box, there's really not a whole lot of ways you can do that. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain I called that. I probably would have gotten back into the phone as it was for Darts on xshot Pro Blasters because the barrier of entry was a bit of a deterrent. Yeah, it was massive. Like, even when it was like, go buy a Chronos and slap a barrel in it and you can get 150 FPS pretty easy. Or you can put a little bit more effort in, you can grind it out, and you can make a mag well and stuff for it and have a mag-fed Chronos. It's like, all that was awesome, and I miss it. See, the problem that has arisen from this lack of modding is, back in the day, every blaster was a gamble. There are times where we would buy a blaster and it would be like not very good stock, but amazing when modded. And that made every review and every kind of thing, like, it was a gamble where it's like, oh my god, this is perfect for modding. And sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes it was. Sometimes somebody smarter would take that and build this amazing thing out of it. And there's none of that now. There's almost no point. Case point, like the pilot. We all love the pilot. I love the pilot. But if you were using it for short darts, why would you not just buy a Fury X or, you know, the Walmart Aeon Pro X or something? You're never going to get a pilot to hit really over... You're not going to get a pilot hitting 200 FPS. So why would you not just go that route? The answer is because you want to use the pilot because it's cool, because it's shell ejecting. Well, now there's the Cricket Pro. And it's cheaper, and it does the same thing. Unless you want to shoot all the extra ammo and use shotgun shells and stuff like that. But you see what I mean? It's like you have to have a specific want, and that specific want might not be the most optimal thing, but rarely is Nerf ever the most optimal thing. I still take time to make common new blasters shoot half dart. That is something you do well, Tag. Fury X was actually my entry back into the hobby, and a great one it was. I went to my local Walmart and they're $20 now. I was pretty pissed. My Walmart, everything's too expensive. Man, they want $40 at Walmart for the long shot, the xshot long shot. I couldn't stomach that at 35, 30 even. I think it's like a $25 blaster would be perfect. I feel like integration is not going to be seen as an expensive part of the hobby and the only arts part of the thing. Yeah, integrations are my favorite part of everything. I like the idea of like taking this grip from one thing and putting on another thing and changing the ergonomics and the aesthetics, but the fact of the matter is it's not really repeatable. And yeah, you could also just 3D print something. It sucks. I like the Vulcan. It's going to be basically going to be used for integrations, not for performance. It's true. A lot of people do like the Vulcan until the clutch breaks, because they all do. Man, I wish we can get like a on-shelf, and hopefully it comes soon. We get an on-the-shelf option that gives us like chains that automatically de-link every like 10-15 rounds or something. When we get that, it's gonna be huge. I think chains are probably the biggest, most underutilized part of this hobby right now. Exactly, Talos. I paid $35 for mine, and then like I think 3 days later it was on Walmart.com for $18 on clearance. But I have never opened my Android Miku thing. What do you think the 30 kg spring you put inside the Saber Apex Prime? I've seen someone get to 450 plus. Yeah, probably. Where are you going to use that? Like, you might have a game near you where you can use it, but where are you going to use it? I have my Dart Zone Pro Mark IV hits 400 FPS, as does my Buzzbee, I think is what it's called. Both of those can hit 400 FPS. I'll never use them for anything. I'll never actually use them for more than showing people what they can do. That's it. They're fun. I think the Nerf crossbow has dropped in price. I think it has lost its luster to most people. Grabbed a few extra belts for the Insanity up to 120 round. I want more. Yep. Now, I want those belts to be cheap, but I also want them to de-link. I want them to be accessible as well. I'm really hoping that does happen. A pro Ragefire would be cool, but I only think I want a pro Ragefire if it can shoot both full and half-length darts. I don't care if it shoots full length and it can't actually fire them, like, you know, accurately. It's a LMG. I don't need it to. I think, doesn't the new Primus do both? Or is the new Primus only full length? I don't think we know yet. I'm sure the Kunlun can... Yeah, I actually don't know what the Kunlun can do maxed out. I know it's very easy. Like, out of the box, it'll hit 400, though. But yeah, I want to see a blaster like an LMG or something that you can, like, press in a switch and extend the magwell and put a full-length belt in, and it would work the same. Or if you want to use a short magwell, you press the button and collapse the whole blaster back or something. It'd be kind of fun to have that. You print singular links to delink your belt for the xshot Ragefire. I think I've seen that. It's an old, who was it? Vulcan. He made specific links that you put in however long in your original xshot thing, that after when it basically used the dart as a pin, so after it fired the dart, the whole link shell would just delink. If there is one of those modern, I could see that, yeah, being pretty good, but I'd still like to see a stock blaster do that. Would make a belt fed. I feel like they could pull it off. That would be fun. I have way less faith in a company like Zuru making a belt fed. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with the Ragefire, especially for what it is. I think it's a great little blaster. What do you think about the Woozy with giant drum mag on full auto? It's whatever. Again, drum mags and full auto and Nerf just aren't really good. Fun fact, the Ragefire can shoot short darts out of the box. Yeah, of course it can. Wait. Ragefire shoot short darts. Not very well, does it? No, it's the crush of the flywheel cage. It probably can't. But I'm trying to figure out how would it... You'd have to have like a really good contact with that pusher. I mean, maybe it can. But I feel like you're relying on that pusher to shuck the dart like straight into the fly, and I feel like that's going to cause you more issues than anything. That's probably why the performance was not as good. Pretty crappy general strife, but we're going to push through it. We're going to have a good, nice talk.
Let's rock.
Imagine coming to the field with what looks to be a Fury Fire with a stock attachment point glued on it, outshoots an MPX. That's the power of modding. This is true. Classic for real. You make a good point, and thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Sleeper builds are a thing for a reason. People like them. There's a fine wine experience when it comes to making the most powerful thing that you can, and yet to the common eye, it looks stock. Car enthusiasts have been doing it forever. I think that seeing machine blasters that feel like it was a heavy blaster is in a heavy, lower fire rate. A fire rate belt fed, 4 to 5 darts a second, maybe. 3 darts a second would be acceptable. 4 or 5, that's kind of where I would draw the line. You want that lower rate of fire, you want the belt fed, you want that thing to be able to fire forever. There really isn't a whole lot of that in the hobby, and I think it's a vastly underutilized tool. You could do a lot. You can lock down entire objectives forever with something like that. And I think that's just really not explored. We got like the, what is that thing called? The HK23 from BYE. Excuse me. I think there's more room for more belt feds. The oval-shaped openings in the chain links is where the pusher connects. The dart post makes short darts just sit right. Okay, yeah, so you are literally just shucking half darts into the flywheels and hoping they make it. Okay, I see that. I never actually tried that because I would remove the dart post and then be like, well, of course, now nothing's touching the pusher. I gotta tell you, I've had it with a Nerf Pro. My torrent broke up at 150 darts. Yeah, it's not great, Tim. Watch my video on it. Mine didn't work out of the box. I took the time to connect multiple Walcom tubes for a total of 300. It was a pain, but it was awesome the 3 times I ran it. Yeah, and until it snaps your clutch and the blaster doesn't work anymore. That's what happens with Vulcans when you do that. When you have like 50 rounds dangling out of the side of the Vulcan and you're moving around, yeah, that torque, it will just break the clutch and then it won't cycle. It sucks. Long shot, xshot, worth it for 18 bucks. I would say so, Dizzy. There is that new RS2, the torrent, but I've already seen somebody build one, and they said it's the same problems with the blaster, just in a different shell. Which, that sucks. Have a good stream, Hughes. There is, in fact, a France. I am well aware there is a France, but thank you for the reminder. Really, Dorian? Because I've seen a lot of them break. I could have swore the Primus, somebody said that it did take short darts as well. I could have swore. Oh, man, it is a warm day. Elite Dart Shooting Ultra 2 still good today? I mean, you're still going to be relegated to full-length darts, but yeah, it's not bad. Do you need the NERF Action Experience Blaster? I would love to gift you some for your collection. I actually do have one. It was sent to me by the Irish Nerfer, the Irish... Oh, crap, I already forgot their name. They did send me one. And so I do have one. I do plan to do a video on it. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to get a full-length video out of that blaster, but I'm going to try. Because it isn't a very interesting blaster, to be perfectly honest. It is good. It is very good. Okay, that makes sense, Dorian. So that's why it's like you have to mess with the clutch to even get the feed, and then after that it's most likely going to break. Okay. Because yeah, then it would just click and not actually feed it. That makes sense. LMG-esque box underneath it with it. You could, but you're going to be limited by the box, and here's the fact that those Vulcan chains are huge. Keep in mind, the normal Vulcan box is already massive, and it only holds like the 25-round chain. So you can have more, but then you're going to have a bigger box, and yeah, you're going to run into some problems. What missile blaster would I recommend? I don't really think I've covered a missile blaster in a long time. Fact of the matter is, I think Mega XL kind of replaced missiles, but there's really nothing wrong with a good demolisher. Past demolisher, I don't think there's any big, heavy, like Titan or anything missiles that are available right now. There will be answers for crafting your own Titan missiles more reliably in the near future. But beyond that, yeah, I don't really see it. Both my Vulcans are missing their box. I have a ton of Vulcan boxes, but they do also break pretty easily. Are you planning on building that NERF Pro Torrent reshell? So I was looking at getting the hardware, and the hardware was going to cost me about, I think, 70, 80 bucks. And then the O-rings went out of stock, so that dampened my mood. And then I was sitting there like, I think this will make a good video. But as soon as I was like, they were in my cart and I was sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, it would make a pretty good video. I was like, well, here's the problem is that like, if the video doesn't do well, I have enough hardware to make 50 of these things. And then somebody came to me and says like, dude, I just made this thing. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. How's it working? It's awful. It's a torrent in another shell. The prime is terrible. It's, you know, not better in any way. It's the same blaster in a different shell. And I was like, I have so many pump actions. I wouldn't need this. Plus the time for filament and building it and stuff. I'm like, this video would have to do pretty okay. And I was like, it's just not worth the 70, 80 bucks for the hardware for me to get one done. So I didn't. Because like the torrent isn't a good blaster. So what would putting it in a different shell do? It's super cool looking. They did an excellent job with it, but I think you're being held back by the torrent itself. I don't really collect NES games, General Stripes. I don't know the prices of any of them. What's the name of that extremely rare ancient Mattel rocket shooter that works like a Hulk gun with an extension spring mechanism? So that is the Ultimator, and if you want one even more rare than that, there's the Maximizer, both shooting the same rockets. See, I don't feel like printing out Ragefire chains is economical, but you do you. I do like that, Galaga. I like the fact that more people are taking a shine to taking existing blasters and using the hardware to make new blasters. I just think in this exact case it didn't work out. From what I've heard, I haven't done it myself. The Irish Absol, thank you. Holy crap, I couldn't remember. The Irish, I gotta remember that, because I have to do it in the video. What would be a good Mega XL blaster? There's so many aftermarket Mega XL shooting things. People love it, but you really can't go wrong with the big rig or the big guy. I don't think the shotgun, the double barrel, was well worth it. But the big rig or the huge 6-shot thing, those are both very good. Maximizer has smaller rockets. I actually did not know that, but I've also never held a Maximizer, so never have I even seen a Maximizer rocket, so that's fair. I can't imagine how hard it would be to find something to shoot those. Or find something to shoot with those. I thought they were the same. Boomdozer, thank you. Nerf Center is apparently now $14 at Walmart. Would it make a good hardware kit for reshells? It would. It would. Senders they're not terrible blasters by any means. They work. Most of the issues they have are from the shell design. So if somebody made a shell that would just take the internals and maybe use a different trigger, I think that would be far worth it. Because the Sender shell sucks. I wanted to like it. I like the idea of the bullpup pistol, but the trigger is just god-awful. I don't think anybody says the trigger on the Sender is good. It is terribad. It is awful. And here's the other problem with that is, like, can you get a Maxim Pro? Because that's going to be better than a Sender and way easier to work with. The thing is, I haven't seen a Maxim Pro on store shelves in a long time. They disappeared pretty bad. Let's see if they're even on the website. Yeah, they're $45 now because of Walmart raising all their prices and blaming it on other stuff. But if I hit get nearby, yeah, there's a couple that do have it. Okay, it's just none of the stores directly within my way. They're all pretty much on at least 20, 30 miles away. Interesting. I haven't seen them in a while. Whew. Pardon me. That's good. I think the Sender is an absolutely fantastic blaster. And it is definitely better than the Nerf Pro Sender. I think the Maxim beats the Sender out really good. They're just not near me for some reason. I only have the one. I really like it. I'm not sure how set I am on the shape and design of it. I like the rev trigger. And I like it just being a good strife. And you could use the AA battery holder and then switching to a LiPo without having to do any extra work. That is so good. Man, they could be doing a lot with that blaster. Have you played Doom the Dark Ages yet? No. I was playing Doom Eternal because I had it and never played it. And got about 3.5 hours into Doom Eternal and I kind of got bored. I have that problem with... like, you know, single player shooters. They unless they're like RPGs, they just don't work for me. And Doom does have a lot of RPG stuff in it, the new ones anyway. I don't think I'll be buying Doom the Dark Ages until it's like the price of a sandwich. Double punches are $30 on Walmart. I've seen that. I want like a $15 double punch. I want more double punches. I just don't want to pay that much money for that old of a blaster. Worth picking up even for its increased price. Should I buy a DCP Mark III or Gen 2 Omnia? I think I said it before. The Dart Zone Pro Mark III is better for semi-auto. The Gen 2 Omnia is better for full auto. That will affect your decision. Because the Mark III does full auto, it's garbage, but it has a pretty good semi-auto. The Gen 2 will do semi-auto and burst, but they're garbage. You'll use it for full auto. There you go. What is your opinion on blaster boards? They're fun. They're kind of a pain to work with. They are definitely cool. I had a lot of fun with them when I had them. And I think they're more meant for kids. I think kids will have an absolute blast. I think price dictates a lot of it because you got to have a lot of them to really enjoy it. But I do think they have their appeal. Man, if those things, if you could get like a couple hundred of them, you would have the time of your life. I've been told if you like OG Doom but hate Eternal, you like Dark Ages. But console game prices are, yeah, it's just not worth it. It's not even worth like $30, $40 to me. I won't get the time out of it. See, I haven't even gotten to the Marauders yet, Dizzy. I don't remember how far I got, but like I said, I think my playtime is not very high. It's like 3.5 hours. I might play more of it. You never know. Not a whole lot, bots. I'm just melting here. Getting shinier by the second. Would it make a good riot shield? No. For a first magazine-fed blaster, which xshot do you think is worth the money? Fury X. Fury X. It's hot today, man. Let me look at the thing. I want to see how hot it actually is. It is 78 up here in the studio. Plus, I've got all the lights and stuff on me, so I could mitigate that to an extent, but it's kind of hard to do that while still having audio not sound like crap. I actually haven't really put thought and consideration into how I'm going to cool this building down in the summer. I'm just hoping it's more of a mild summer, because if I hook up the AC unit, I don't want to put it at this window because I do have neighbors and they probably already think I'm psychotic. And if I put the AC there, it will blow out air, yes, but it will also amplify any voices and stuff I make. You know, it's not going to be good. Is that an air zone bow? Yeah, there's a Scorpion brand new in box. I don't even know what it is. I never opened it. N-Series Sprinter on a good sale relay. Is it worth modding for short darts? I think it is. I think the shell is actually really good on the Sprinter. I should have done the video. I actually filmed the entire video and never uploaded it. Never edited, uploaded it. So what would you recommend for a shield? Boogie board. Get like a nice boogie board or a sled. And then get told you can't use shields. That's what would happen. It's insanely hot here in Mexico and it randomly started raining, so now I'm convinced there's a higher power. God, rain in Mexico sounds awesome. That sounds like a great time. Probably not with the high humidity, but I live in Washington, so I'm already kind of used to it. Did you see my CNC bolt arms? That thing's I haven't removed the tabs off this one yet. That I'm getting some use out of that machine. Here's like the like practice project. That's the kind of detail you can. It's hard to see because of the light. There's quite a bit of detail in there. And then here's what the 4th axis can do. It's really cool. Absolute amazing thing. And yeah, it made these in like, it makes one of these in about like 35, 40 minutes, I think. I have plans. What's a good chronograph? Just find a decent airsoft one. You shouldn't have to pay more than like 40 bucks for a decent chronograph. From what I know about the UK is it's basically just Super Washington. I've watched, for some reason recently, I've been watching a lot of YouTubers on that side. All the gear, and Alex Steele. I've been watching a lot of their videos over the past month. And yeah, it just looks like Washington. Just picked up the Fury X at Target for $23. See, that's too much money. The problem is tariffs. That's kind of screwed everything up. Brother, or Bamboozle, you can't be talking to me because I am terrible at math. I have a confession. I don't think I've ever played Mark II. Is it good? I don't think I've ever played it. Mortal Kombat 2, you mean? I didn't. I played Mortal Kombat 1 in the arcade. I never played a home port. I remember having a lot of fun with the home ports of Mortal Kombat 2. That being said, I don't know why you would pick Mortal Kombat 2 over Mortal Kombat 3, which is also on this machine. It does have Mortal Kombat 3, or Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, which I think is just the best of the 3, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not like a huge Mortal Kombat player, though. Button for blocking and the weird ways you pull off moves in Mortal Kombat always didn't really appeal to me that much. Like holding back and like for a certain amount of time and then doing some obscure button combo while holding down 3 different buttons really didn't work for me. I really liked the, Street Fighter stuff like that. I was more into that because it was like, oh, quarter circle punch, stuff like that. That made more sense to me. I'm not a Guile player, though. Guile also is kind of weird when it comes to that. But yeah, I've never really been able to get into Mortal Kombat. I mostly have this one because it's a normal 4x3 screen, and then the Pac-Man one behind it is a Tate mode. So this is good for like 4x3 games, and that one is good for any of the games that are vertical. That's kind of why I have those two machines. You had a Mortal Kombat machine, but was converted into an NFL. You can do that? I would love to have the NFL Blitz machine, and I never saw one for a good price. I love Blitz. God, do I love NFL Blitz. NFL Blitz and NBA Jam are two of my favorite arcade games. I would be down for that. Conversion kits. Okay. Is that from like Arcade Paradise or something like that? I might have to look into it. I know it's very easy to soft mod my Simpsons one, which I might do. I just haven't bothered. I haven't turned on the Simpsons one in a while. I actually do play the Ridge Racer one pretty often. I need to get the freaking Time Crisis machine before it's unobtainium. Like, the fact that I don't have that machine back there upsets me greatly because it's a perfect thing for the channel, and I love Point Blank, or Point Blank, I think is the mini game collection. It sucks it only has like Time Crisis 1 and Point Blank, but man, I want that, and it's like it's never really been on sale. I've never paid full on. This was $100, as was this one. I bought both those things at the same time for $100 each from Walmart. The Ridge Racer machine was $250, and the Simpsons was $200. Like, I never paid full price for those. Are you kidding me? Any cool muzzles for the new Diana? I'm not aware there's a new Diana, and I'm not aware of the muzzles for them, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Is the xshot piston pump and HPG batteries the same? Yes, as far as I can tell, Will, they are. Can you review the Venture Force Rebel? I actually never got one, Ricardo. Would I review it in 2025? Probably not. Unless I just was really smitten with it. I never saw it on store shelves. I don't think I've ever seen the Rebel on store shelves. My Walmart just never had them. Oh, you mean like you had... Okay. I thought you were talking about the conversion kit for like an arcade 1-up. You were actually talking about like you swapped out the whole board and everything. Okay, that makes more sense. Ridge Racer 2, yeah, that's what I paid for it. It was Best Buy, I think, is what had it very cheap. Yeah, but how often do you need a chronograph large ammo, Tomsky? Like, my channel got away with it for a long time, not doing it. There's really just not much of a reason to use, like, in fact, when NERF is not really producing it anymore. We're not getting more Demolish Rockets. We're not getting more Mega XL. We're not getting more Mega. Man, like, the only thing we really have is arrows. They did make an NFL Blitz 1-up, and I want one, but I've never seen one for a good price. I also want the Golden Tee stuff, because I love golf games. Never got that. They had them clearanced at Costco, and my Costco's didn't get I saw them at Costco, but when they clearanced them out, I never saw them, and I don't think I had the money, to be honest. It sucks. I think Arcade 1-up is pretty much done at this point. They haven't really released anything new. Which is a shame, but yeah. My favorite game on this is Tubin. It's the best. I love Tubin. It's such a fun. I've played it. There was a place in Idaho called Grinker's Grand Palace, and you still had to pay for everything, video game wise, which I found annoying because that limited how much I could actually play. And Tubin was one of my favorite games. What are good blasters are there for under $30? There's a ton, but I would recommend like the Adventure Force Cricket Pro because it's $7. It's probably more now. I didn't even think about that. I bet you it's at least $10. 777. Okay, I guess it's recession proof. Nerf on their social medias have been posting a lot about elite darts. Well, probably because nobody gives a flip about... Dude, seriously. If you like N-Series, I'm not going to like fault you for that one. But the fact of the matter is, what does N-Series do that Elite didn't already do? What does the N-Series dart do that an Elite blaster with not using Elite, let's say AccuStrike darts, couldn't already do? Nobody can answer that question because it just doesn't. That's my biggest problem. I could do an entire video raging about that, and I pretty much have multiple times now, I think. The fact of the matter is, Nerf just isn't doing anything. They make a new blaster line, right? They make Nerf N-Series. What does Nerf N-Series do? What makes Nerf N-Series different? Oh, the darts are better. They're not. You can get similar performance out of Nerf blasters with better darts. Adventure Force waffles, stuff like that. So it makes it insane to me that they keep making new darts and then do nothing interesting with them, right? I can't be the only one tired of this. They did it with Ultra. They're doing it with N-Series. They made Elite 2.0 and they made like 2 semi-unique blasters out of an entire line of reshells that were all inferior to the blasters that came before them. It's freaking insane to me. There's some dumbass at Hasbro that keeps doing this, thinking like, oh, well, the 8-year-olds that bought Nerf, 3 years ago, now they're gonna go, they're gone. They're never gonna touch Nerf anymore. So now we're gonna do Nerf Elite 2.0, and then those dumbasses are gonna be gone, and then we're gonna do Nerf N-Series, and it's the same stuff, but they're gonna buy it because it's the only thing that's gonna be on store shelves. I'm so tired of this, Hasbro. I don't care if John H. Hasbro himself and his entire team of designers and everybody are watching the stream right now. I don't expect to get handouts from Hasbro ever again anyway. It's not like they've really said anything to me. And it's a valid criticism. You are creatively bankrupt. You have been creatively bankrupt. You do nothing other than try to milk your consumers as much as possible. You lost all of your fans. You're going to die. You're going to kill your entire brand. And Dart Zone and xshot are going to eat your lunch because they can do everything you do at a better price with better performance in every single possible way. I'm not even talking about just distance, accuracy, price, gimmick. All that stuff is better from your competitors. You have no reason to have N-Series exist. None of the blasters coming out in the next year for N-Series are anything different than what we have already had for the past 15 years. There's no purpose to your ammo type other than to force people to buy new ammo because you don't want to have your competitors come out with something cheaper that's better than yours in every single possible way. I'm amazed that Hasbro even tried Gelfire. I'm still gobsmacked about that because this is one of the only times I've ever seen them make a new blaster line that uses an existing standard of ammo they did not create. And I'm sure it's been problematic for them because anybody can go on Amazon and buy a $15 rechargeable full auto 5,000 round stupid gel blaster. And unfortunately, it's going to work about as good as the ones Hasbro's trying to sell you for $50, $60. That was the problem with the Mythic. Now the Mythic's gone. Now they're making all this. They made like the Upsurge or whatever it is. I never even unboxed it, but apparently that wasn't very good. They just don't do anything. They're spinning their wheels. They've been spinning their wheels. The entire like if you could sit there and you could tell me what happened in the marketing room for Hasbro when they came up with the Elite 2.0 idea. Because I can be cynical and tell you the entire reason that Elite 2.0 existed was because they were getting their absolute balls crushed by Dart Zone and with their Adventure Force line and their Dart Zone line with their cheaper, better darts, which is why they canned an entire beloved line because they wanted to try to sell people on this new stuff that wasn't actually new. And not only was it not actually new, it was inferior to their old products in every way. That's the only reason. Why did Nerf Ultra exist? You could make the argument, and I did because I just wrote a freaking like 2-hour-long script about it. You could make the argument that Nerf Ultra existed to try to deliver long range at less kinetic impact. Nerf Ultra, when it worked, is some of the longest distance Nerf darts I have ever used. When it worked, Nerf Ultra was amazing. The fact of the matter is, most of the time with Nerf Ultra, the darts just curved off into a random existence and it was done. They didn't work. They didn't go straight, and that's the biggest problem. I don't know why people are like, oh, it's for kids, Walcom. Like, kids don't want their Nerf darts to go straight. I guarantee you more kids want their Nerf darts to go straight than they want their Nerf darts to go far, although I think those two things are jumbled together. They want both of those things. But I think accuracy is more important, and Nerf never even tries to do that. And then the biggest kick in the groin is the fact that they bring out these new lines. They bring out Hyper, they bring out Ultra, and they support them for about 2 years, making you buy hundreds of new darts and a dozen new blasters, and then they just disappear. They don't even say anything. They just get rid of the line. It's like, that's done. We still have not gotten official confirmation that Nerf Rifle is dead. The only reason why you know Nerf Rifle is dead is because they're not making Nerf Rifle blasters. Nerf Mega, is it dead? Have no clue. Haven't seen Nerf Mega blasters. Nerf Hyper, it's been long gone. We never heard anything about it. Nerf Hyper has 2 new blasters coming out this entire year. Like, and seriously, like, looking at this year, what? We got 2 Nerf Gelfire blasters, excuse me. 2 Nerf Gelfire blasters. Both of them look like they suck. And then we've got 5 N-Series blasters revealed. Maybe it's 6. At Toy Fair, they had what? The Galactic Commander, the freaking bolt action sniper. That's just the Shadow Storm or whatever, but in a different shell. And then I guess, yeah, the 4 blasters that are pretty much identical to each other. The ice and fire with the things, they're all agility reshells. And then I think we've had 1 leak of an N-Series, like a cheapo N-Series blaster you're going to find at like Dollar General. That's a pump action ward. Have we seen anything else? What has released from Hasbro in the last 5 months? I'm trying to remember. I don't think they have released a single new blaster. Have they? I'm blown away by this. Nerf is dead. The writing is on the wall. Nerf is dead. They're just gonna stop. I can't imagine this, but it's actually happening. And it's only happening because Hasbro's like, we don't care. Why should we put effort into this toy brand? Kids don't want toys. They want video games. They want us to bring back our terrible old intellectual properties and make them video games. Ugh. I just don't understand how we got to this point. The biggest, like, for years, for decades, one of the most ubiquitous toys in the world is almost gone. Now, it's not Nerf or nothing. Now, it's just Nerf and anything else. And pretty soon it's going to be anything else. There won't be Nerf. What's going to happen to Nerf? Are they just going to produce the same 5-6 blasters and just release those every year? Is that all that's going to happen? Like, what do we blame on this? You can't blame the tariffs. Those are new. You can't blame the pandemic. That was years ago. What's the disconnect? You could make the argument that's like, well, kids don't play with physical toys anymore, Walcom. That's okay. That generation of kids, the last 5 years, that's maybe a wash. Maybe we can't fix those. You can fix the newer generation now. You can. You can make them love toys again. Nerf isn't even trying. Kids will only sit in front of screens for so long. Eventually, they're going to want to go outside and actually shoot one of their friends with a foam dart. It's going to happen. Like, VR Nerf darts are never going to replace that. What do we do? Even the VR Nerf game failed. It didn't even last a year. What do we do? Like, it sucks because, like, this is my life. This is my living. And once this goes away, what do? I have no, I guess I just go work at McDonald's. Or I try to find a gig as a video editor. That's probably more likely. And I don't think my video editing is necessarily all that good. But what do you do? Like, what do you do when this hobby disappears? Like, I don't think the hobby will disappear, and I don't think Nerf as a brand is dead. Some random channel makes the, 10, what is it, like the fastest Nerf dart, the Mach 10 Nerf dart, whatever it was. Millions of views. Any channel, like, big, that dabbles into Nerf gets millions of views. So what do we do? I don't know. I wish Hasbro would try harder. I'm critical of them because they need to be criticized, because they're a gigantic company and they were the leaders. And now they're not even trying. They don't care for their fans. They don't want to take any risks. Hasbro does not take risks anymore. And maybe that's the biggest problem. Dart Zone takes risks. xshot takes risks. The xshot AEG is like the biggest risk a company can take. Hopefully it pays off, because I want more of that. But even xshot, like, despite everything they do, they're only putting out a couple of blasters a year. What? Dart Zone, couple of blasters a year. We can't subsist off just a couple of blasters a year from these companies. We have to have more. And Nerf was what filled that gap. And it sucks. Like, that's the thing. It's like, it's the fans that are suffering the most. And then they're like, well, we made the Shark 92. Why didn't you go? Because it was $30 and it didn't shoot the old Mega Darts. It shot the new Mega Darts. So it wasn't an old thing. And spoiler alert, that was like the last Mega Blaster we're ever going to see. Why did Mega XL die so quickly? Like, well, nobody bought it, Walcom. Obviously nobody. Okay, try harder. What the hell? Try more. Make new designs. Try different things. What is N Series? Why does N Series exist other than to make people buy new darts that are marginally better? Oh my god, N Series is so much better. It's so accurate, so powerful, long distance. No, it's because you underspec your blasters horribly to fire the lightest, crappiest dart imaginable when you could increase the power ever so slightly and use a slightly better dart and get the exact same performance you're getting out of N Series right now. My biggest problem with, like, Nerf Ultra, you had the chance to do something new and unique. You had a different dart material, different dart geometry. You could have tried new and innovative things with those setups. And they literally never even did it. You got the Ultra Strife. You got the Ultra Recon. You got just the same blasters we've been getting, but now it fires this dart. Rinse and repeat over and over and over and over and over again. I hate it. I'm so tired of it. And it's like, I can't even be happy when it's like, oh, well, Hasbro's doing really good with Beyblade. They aren't doing crap with Beyblade. They do the marketing and the distribution for Beyblade X in, like, North America. They are failing at both of those things, I might add. You go to Walmart. I went to my Walmart multiple times over last month. There's 0 Beyblade X, or there's like a random, just like, oh, here's 30 of the Spider-Man vs. Venom dual packs. Meanwhile, the CX blasters are supposed to be out on store shelves right now, and not CX, UX, I think. I'm not sure. I think CX is the new ones that are coming out that aren't actually out yet. But, like, the UX ones are supposed to be out, right? They're supposed to be. I found UX, I found a couple. I think literally 2 of each UX Beyblade at Fred Meyer. Target doesn't have them. Target's only has, like, the Phoenix Soar sets. Like, why am I finding stuff that released last summer still on store shelves and none of the stuff that released since then? And then marketing is like, how many people actually know about Beyblade X and how cool it is? Every single person that seems to get their hands on Beyblade X thinks it's the most rad thing ever. But when it comes to actually, like, showing people how cool, all their social media sucks. Like, the influencers are carrying the entirety of Beyblade X on their back. Because they're the only ones doing anything with it. Or, like, some random stupid, like, oh, Hasbro paid some huge, like, Kai Cenat to do, like, oh, a little Beyblade thing. He's not a fan of Beyblade, and he's never going to touch it ever again after the fact. They're just going to give him, tens of thousands of dollars in, bays, and think, oh, there we go. We showed it to a bunch of people, and they're going to go instantly. Maybe that's just the way. That's what they did with Nerf, too, all the time. They're like, oh, yeah, Nerf, let's give it to these athletes so they can do this horrible phoned-in video and then never touch it again. That sucks. That's horrible. Like, you need to generate fans. You don't need to generate short-term gains. You need to not spend 5-7 years producing nothing but Roblox and Fortnite and Minecraft blasters because that's what the kids are playing. Because guess what? Now all those kids think that like NERF only makes Roblox stuff and doesn't make their own original blasters. They put zero effort into their own original stuff for a decade, and now it's starting to bite them in the ass. Sorry, I just keep rambling. I just unloaded a lot. It's like my therapy. I say Dart Zone lacks innovation lately. I agree, but I think Dart Zone has hit the point where they need to play it safe. I still think they're trying to do some interesting things though, because like the Primus is pretty interesting from a design standpoint. The Venom, pretty interesting. I think the Venom Striker 2.0 and the Nexus Pro X, both pretty interesting. Buzzbee aren't afraid to try new things and actually innovate. I'm not going to try to argue with Dorian here, because you are a very well knowledgeable person. I swear to God, Buzzbee has been making for the last 7 years the same crap. We get like maybe one unique blaster from Buzzbee a year. And it's a gamble if that even works. Like the last time they actually tried was like the Tetra Fire and the Trigger Fire and the Thunder Shot. And all three of those blasters didn't work as advertised. And then we got like, and then it's like trying to get things that actually will work, like the Easy Fire, stuff like that. Or the freaking skewer, not skewer. You can't find those anywhere but like Dollar General, and Dollar Generals aren't everywhere, and not every Dollar General has those. But when I go to Walmart, where I expect to see Buzzbee stuff, it's the same crap. It's the same freaking blasters I have been seeing forever. The last time they tried was when we had the Alpha Auto 72, pretty good blaster, might I add. I think it's coming back. And then like they tried with like the Trigger Fire and the Tetra Shot, and those were horrible. And the Thunder Shot, that was so bad they had to recall it. Yeah. The Tron showed that Buzzbee can match or exceed build quality of OEMs when they actually try. I agree. The Tron was amazing. It's too bad that didn't go anywhere. Because then we got the Game Face Geon, which was god-awful, and that was the end of the entire line. I think I did. I think I saw Buzzbee Mayhem, and it looked identical to the stuff we've always been getting from Buzzbee. The Alpha Auto 72 drum mech was really cool. Honestly, the only problem with that thing is that, like, there's no real clutch or anything, because it's like so if you're like actually moving with it, the thing's going and moving your shots, it's kind of terrible. Hey, James! This. It's not 3D printed. It's CNC'd. I have a CNC now. It was sent to me by a company. So now I have both 3D printing and CNC. Mayhem is nothing exciting. See? That's exactly what I thought. It's like, I remember seeing somewhere, I think, was like, oh, hey, look at this. It's new stuff. And then it was like the same blasters I have been seeing forever from Buzzbee. With actual grips, mind you, but yeah. Oh, an Insanity type system? Twist Fury is the coolest thing they've done recently. See, I have one, and like I like the idea that like that's Taffy's baby and everything like that, and it's very clearly Taffy's baby. But I was like, this doesn't excite me to open it up because I know exactly what this blaster is. So I never opened it up. I never did a video. I just put it on a shelf. I'm like, I think I'm just gonna keep you here as a remembrance. Like maybe I'll do a picture of it at some point. But the Tetra Fire had some potential. Yeah, it really did. I was so excited to get my hands on that. I don't know why every single Buzzbee blaster that summer did not work. They all hit like 40, 50 FPS maybe. I thought the Tetra Fire was really cool. Had the Tetra Fire had the ability to like flip a switch and do single shot 80, 85, or do a quad shot that's like 35 FPS or something, it would have been rad. God, that could have been such a cool blaster. Honestly, it might still have potential, but it's long gone. xshot had the better incline. See, that's the other thing. It's like xshot, for the longest time, it's like they would make something cool, they would make something cheap, but it was never exciting. They would make like the Fortress and the Turbo Fire and the Turbo Advance, and all these blasters were pretty much the same thing. You get the Hawkeye, you get the new Hawkeye, and the new Hawkeye after that, and all this stuff. They keep making the same blasters over and over. You get the Reflex, you get the Fury 4, you get all these. Every year it was like the same blasters, slightly different reshells. Now they started painting them and stuff. It was all cool, don't get me wrong, but from like a review standpoint, it's like, it's the same crap I got in like 2017. This is just new. But then it's like, okay, so we got the Crusher. I think the Crusher is one of the most underrated blasters out there. I think the Crusher, if they would just make like a pro version, not even like it has to shoot 150 FPS, I just want one that doesn't feel like I'm gonna break it every time I use it. The Crusher is such a good blaster. I wish somebody else would try to make the Crusher. I like the Crusher more than I like the Ragefire. I think the Crusher is perfect except for the durability. The durability is what lets the Crusher down. Because it can fire as fast as you can slam that thing back. It's fairly stable and accurate in flight. It can hold a ton of ammo. It's like just slightly better ergonomics for the front grip. That's the biggest problem because I can usually fit like 3 fingers in there and I got pretty small hands. And make it not feel like I'm gonna break the damn thing. Perfect blaster. How much do you like your HQ G4? You talking about this thing? This boy? I think this is the G4, right? Hey, Solanese. I've only mentioned like 8 times so far. I really do like this blaster. The problem is that this thing stopped working. I think I mentioned it in the video that it stopped working. It doesn't have a seal at all. I can't actually get, I mean, there's very much two problems with it. You have to have Lanky Kong's arms in order to really use this thing. Most of the time when I use it, I can't prime it because you have to, that's a lot. You can see my arm is like pretty much maxed out. And then the other problem is the fact that it just doesn't seal. But people like, yeah, I can do that. And then I can do that. And then I can do that. And then if this dart actually comes out the barrel, I will be surprised. Exactly. It didn't even try. Like, it just doesn't have a seal anymore. I don't know how to fix it. I need a whole new O-ring kit, and it doesn't really exist. I'd have to try to figure it out, and I just don't have the patience for it. Which sucks, because it's like the fuck... it's part of my... It's like the coolest freaking thing I have, and seeing it makes me sad because I can't actually use it. It needs a whole new O-ring kit. I'm so upset by it. And every time I took this thing apart, I probably damaged it in some way. I don't think I've lost any of the screws for it, but yeah, that was frightening. When it worked, I think out of the box I hit like 200 FPS. It was awesome. The only thing is the prime, but the prime could be mitigated if you're not actually trying to rifleman it like this. If you just go like that every time you want... Oh, God, even that. Like, you have to really video game it. This is the heavy spring and it doesn't fire. It's actually hurting my hand. I actually would grab it like this to prime it, and I found that to be better. And I would still take that. That's fine. Realistically, for how good this thing fired, I think that action is really light. For like 200 something FPS, but it just doesn't do it anymore. It's like, it's so beautiful too. I really do like it. Was it worth the price they wanted for it? No, hell no. I'm sorry. Just like everything else HQ makes, it's absolutely beautiful, but I could never recommend it. What's my favorite Kamen Rider show? Kamen Rider build. Any mutual acquaintances can get by me, I can fix it for you. I have a lot of machined blaster experience. It just needs all new O-rings. I would probably take you up on that, Dorian. But yeah, I don't really have contact with anyone, so... Like, it needs a lot of O-ring, like different sizes and stuff. At least I think. It just doesn't seal. I think it's all the plunger tube ones, and there's like 3 different O-ring sizes just in that. It could probably fix it. The thing that I don't like is like people are like, well, just measure the O-rings, Walcom. Measuring O-rings sucks. It is not easy. They're malleable. So... What do you think of Gav so far? I've seen 1 episode of Gav and I thought it was okay. Never watched more than that. I saw one episode of Vice, or Revice, and I thought it was okay. I saw one episode of Saber and hated it. Actually, I think I saw 3 episodes of Saber just to see if it was bad as I thought it was, and it was worse. And Geets is the best, by far. 01 was also pretty good, but that got kind of screwed by COVID. What about getting an O-ring from an actual real gun? Well, I need specific O-rings. It's a very precisely machined blaster. I want your input on the age-old question, Springer or flywheel. I like Springers for the less maintenance, usually. I think I've flip-flopped on that over the years. Check out the new Gundam yet? G-Quicks. I have not. I'm saving it for a special occasion. Eventually, I will see them. Yeah, Waste, it was like an $800 blaster. It was more expensive than my actual lever gun. I could buy, you know, a 357 Marlin for cheaper than that Nerf toy. The fact is, here we are, it's like there's still not really anything else like that. I wonder if we'll ever see anything else like the HQ. And even then, it's like that's full metal and it's a work of art. I really do wish the, I wasn't continuously having... I have some minor issues with the seal on the... I don't know how much I'm going to mention it in the video because I can't tell if these are my fault, but I really like the... let me go grab it really quick because I know where it is. The HQ C330... this is, like, you should never buy this unless you just wanted the Gucciest jolt that ever was. But there are few blasters that feel as good as this one to use. Like, I would stand to say that I don't think I have a single blaster that feels remotely as good as this thing. Just hit me in the freaking face. As good as this one is to use. Every single inch of this thing is CNC. The stock. The buffer tube stock, this is all metal. Everything is metal. My goodness, does it feel absolutely incredible. Even though the trigger is a slide back trigger, it is an amazing slide back trigger. It is skin. And the only way, so I actually got in a call, in a conversation with Radioactive, and he told me to stretch the O-ring out. And I did. And it worked. And I was like, oh my god, thank god it works. Okay, I'm going to film this tomorrow. Came back upstairs the next day. Back to 120s. There's 180s, 185s. Back to 120s. I can't get a seal out of these things. I don't know. I'll wait for the stream to come back. Yeah, the streams always die at 2:04. It's an issue with OBS. That's exactly what I did, Jacob. Thank you. I don't know what it is about the HQ stuff, but yeah, I just keep, like, it's a beautifully machined, and the O-rings fail on me constantly. I just don't know what to do. But, yeah, I really like this blaster. I hope to maybe figure out why I keep having these beautiful machine blasters where the O-rings fail on them after a little while. Because, like, if you were to hand this to me at a war and I used it, I would be like, how much? I have to have one. How much? Because it's just, it's so beautiful. It feels amazing to use something like this. I kind of understand why Tag likes all these super expensive Gucci blasters. But it's like this, I think this is like a $400 blaster. I don't know. He asked us, like, hey, is that video ready yet? I'm like, well, it can be. I don't know how much the blaster costs. I was like, oh, okay, I'll have that done. And it was like 2 weeks ago and it hasn't happened yet. I don't know. I think he said it's like a $400 blaster. And I could never recommend this blaster. It's a single shot, maxes out like 150 FPS maybe. There's just no way. But my goodness, is it a really, really nice, smooth blaster. It can't be beat. Oh my god. When it comes to actually using a blaster, I have never used anything as nice as this. It's just firing like 100 FPS right now if I'm lucky because the seal is trash. And I have to deal with that in the video, and I don't I mean, nobody's going to buy this thing anyway, which is why it sucks when they send me something so beautiful that I love and I can't rationalize it. I guarantee you, not a single one of these things sold. Because no matter how good it is, there's just no rationalizing it. Who's the market for this? And I think that video got like 35,000 views. I'm willing to bet not a single one of these sold. I just don't understand. Like, it's so pretty, but who's it for? It's for Tag. Tag, I don't know how you afford it, man. Which do I like more, that or the Grain Rain? Well, the problem is the Grain Rain actually works. And the Grain Rain works really well. I'm gonna probably say, see, here's the thing though. If I literally could just like that or a Grain Rain, they're both the same price, I'd probably go for the metal one because it's way nicer to use. The Grain Rain is super cool, but the Grain Rain isn't as nice to use as even like the Awaken. Yeah, that is something, Jacob. I might be one of these weird people. My goal when I went to a war was to never have the same blaster as somebody. I was like, the first time I had a Caliburn, it was great. The next war we had where there was like 7 or 8 Caliburns and we had to divvy up teams by which team so we could equal out the Caliburns. It's like, I'm done using my Caliburn. I don't ever want to use a Caliburn ever again. And I didn't. That's just how it goes. I don't want to use the same blasters a bunch of other people. I want to use it, and like, I can guarantee you, like, probably nobody else will ever have that stupid, you know, metal C330. Opinion on Shoeless's Goblin? I have no idea what that is. Apparently Frontline Foam is sold out on, what, the metal C330? I don't understand why all the YouTubers gushed about worker products until I got one, and now I got a second. I mean, yeah, there's the thing with like, it's hard, right? Because I'm not sure if I do a good job or a bad job about this. I am lucid enough to tell you to your face, you should never buy this. But my goodness, if I could fix that, find the perfect O-ring replacement, and handed this to you at a war and said, just take a couple of shots. I guarantee you, no matter if it's like, it's a bolt action single shot Walcom, you'd be like, how much? Oh, how much? Because I promise you, other than the potential injury from having a metal CNC butt, this is so stupid. There's so many sharp corners on this. I could kill a man with this stock. I would not want to be like running and accidentally fall and get this thing in the chin. It will just break everything. You will lose teeth because of this. But my God, is it just so nice. Oh, it's so nice. Look how pretty it is. They have a Gundam color scheme. I refuse to even look up what that looks like, because I will be upset because I didn't get that. I got this nice blue and yellow, which I think is amazing, but it's like, there's a Gundam. That explains the red trigger that stands out like a sore thumb. But I love this thing. This is not something I would ever want to part with. It's like, oh, we're doing pistols? Oh, hell yeah. Do I have the pistol? Yeah, you can just take the stock off as a normal pistol. So these iron sights are so freaking low, you literally can't use them unless it's in the pistol configuration. You're holding it like that. It's beautiful. I cannot, but you should never buy it. And now I have to do a video where I have to try to convince you to buy it, which will never work. So I don't know who they're made for. I have no idea. Oh, there's a metal thing. I have no idea what the product, like, category for this is. I mean, it shouldn't break. It's made of metal. I mean, it seems fine. It's gonna dry fire. It doesn't matter. It's made of metal. Oh, yeah. Here's my, action experience blaster with its, what, $15 Ollie's sticker. These things are really good! But we're never supposed to have... I don't know what the story is. I'd love to know why you can find these at Ollie's in the, the East Coast. What a weird thing to have happened. I want to do a video on this. I probably will. A metal Grain Rain? I mean, that might work. AK Blaster Mod is selling the base 330 for like 60 bucks. Yeah, exactly. Stop showing me shiny stuff. I know, right? But again, I will never tell you you need to buy one. It's like the Sweetheart Storm, right? My gosh, is that a beautiful, powerful, accurate, just about everything on that thing is just, except for the 3D printed stuff. That bothers me. I feel like a blaster that's been around. There are so many different kits for that blaster, though. There are tons of designs and stuff. I still see like pro Sweetheart Storm stuff. It looks like the same exact internals, just different shells. You should never buy one. You have no use for one. Like, unless you can like go to a war where it's like, you know, 300 FPS cap and you want to dunk on people, that's when you use one. The reason why those are at Ollie's is because the Nerf Experience thing failed and they dumped them at the closest. Well, it's like, I've realized the Nerf Experience thing probably failed. That actually probably has a lot to do with why Hasbro, oh my god. Why did the Nerf Experience thing even exist? They're so stupid. How much millions of dollars were wasted? But the fact of the matter is, were you allowed to keep this blaster after you went to the Nerf Experience thing? Was this like you paid for a $35 ticket, you got this blaster, and it was yours to keep? I don't understand it. Like, did people go to it before it collapsed, or did it collapse before people even really did it? I'm really wondering what that was about. Because this is a really snazzy blaster, and this is proper Nerf right here. I think that's the thing that upsets me the most. This is proper Nerf. This is not N series. This is not Elite 2.0. This is not Alpha. This is proper Nerf. If this released in 2013, if this released in 2016, this would be a freaking fantastic blaster. People would be all over this. It feels amazing in the hand. It's 8-shot. It's smartly designed. You can use it either as the slide-based, or you can use it with the pole, which is way better. Everything about it is just great. Is it $15 great? I don't really think so, but it's good. But why, like, either they bought it, like, I was not under the impression if you went to a Nerf Action Experience thing and you paid for your ticket, you played whatever the action experience was, that you got the blaster. Because that would be cool, but I've never seen anybody have one. So that probably wasn't the case. And then all of a sudden there's boxes of them being sold at Ollie's all around the East Coast. I don't get it. I'm so confused. But yes, it is 8 shots. I mean, it's a pretty beefy looking blaster, but yeah, does it even have slam fire? Yeah, it has slam fire. Oh my god. This is really good slam fire. Like, I just don't get it, man. Yeah, I would imagine, like, you pay a $35 ticket, you sell your blaster on eBay for 50 bucks, because the only way you can get one is if you have a Nerf Action Experience near you. Could the Kieran work well in a war? Yeah. Yeah, it could. Either way, if you have it using shell ejection or if you have it using Talon mags, it'd work. It's a good blaster. I'm really confused about the Nerf Action Experience. Is that even still a thing? There's a website. It's like Blaster Battle Zones Challenge. What's inside? Westfield Garden State Plaza Mall in Paramus, New Jersey this summer. They have targets. What the flippity flup? Okay, hold on. Hold the hell on. What is this even real? How do I do this? Let me try to get this on screen, because I've never actually looked at this website, and this is really weird. I can't tell what's going on here. We need to see this. We need to talk about this. There's some shenanery going on. Window capture, properties, Nerf Action Experience, done. Let's do reset transform. Let's shrink this guy down. I don't have the green screen, so we're just gonna have to deal with like Walcom over here, I guess. We can cover the chat. How about that? Actually, it's easier if it's over. There we go. It's hold on. Sorry, give me just a tick, chat. We're doing this live, okay? Okay, so... This is interesting. This is super interesting. I've never looked at this before. What are these blasters? I've literally never seen, like, it looks like a strike fire, and then, like, what even is this blaster? I've never seen this blaster before. Has anybody ever talked about this blaster?
Let's rock.
Am I the only one that sees this weird grenade launcher looking thing and have no clue? I've never seen this. Like, trying my best to, like, make this work. What am I looking at there? It doesn't look like it's PvP. It looks like it's all competition based. It's AI generated. I thought about that as well, but it looks too consistent. And also, like, if this is an official Hasbro thing, using AI for that would be dangerous. So if we go to the other side, this is really hard to do. I should have set up the green screen, to be honest. If we go to the other side, it's normal. That looks like PvP maybe, but it's hard to tell. So it's interesting. Like football stuff, power, pitcher. Okay, so they have a bunch of not like Nerf stuff. There is, I guess, Paramouse, New Jersey. That's where this thing is this summer. So this is confusing me. The fact that we have these weird blasters that I've never seen before. I wonder if these are new coming out. They're still making product for this. That's so weird to me. Those look really, they look like Mega Dart, right? Paramus. I mean, I don't try saying Puyallup. Get off my case. That's interesting. It really is. Which, like, this would make a banger range, and everybody says, oh, your targets are too close. Like, this is the same. Again, here's some. That's a strike fire, is it not? Like the one on the other side. That is so a strike fire. Like, what? What is this grenade launcher thing that looks like it's from Mega XL compared to this, like, not Mega XL, Mega, compared to the little strike fire in 2025? I'm so confused by that. I really want to know what this is about. General Strife just tagged me on a thing. I'm very interested in this. Yeah, I see the pic. That's not any different than what I have on the screen right now. That's weird. I mean, this Camp Dune thing looks AI, not AI, but photoshopped. And then the rest of it's sports, which nobody cares about. So, like, my question is that how the hell is this supposed to make money? Like, if you're not having the players shoot each other, why not just do airsoft? Now, my local malls, like 2 of them, there's one mall that literally just has airsoft with gunpowder SMT set up. There's another one that has like actual physical targets and you just rent the airsoft and the BBs and you just shoot airsoft for a while. Again, it's just shooting at targets, but that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know how much those are, but I'm very confused, like how you make this. It's being sold as an experience, And I'm sure this would be fun for if you got, you know, 20 minutes of play for like 10, 15 bucks, but yeah. It's the same model. It's a fictional blaster from the Wii games. So is that actually the... It does look like something from the Wii games, I get you that. Does that mean it's a physical blaster, or are they just, again, false advertising? It's really strange to me that they would use, again, a strike fire? That is totally a strike fire. I have a hard time understanding why that would be a blaster in 2025. So it could be Photoshop generated, but they're from the, so it's the same model. So it's literally just a video game model they superimposed on this background. That is insanely weird that they would even bother to do that. Now, that being said, I'm fairly certain. God, doing this live, oh my God, it's horrible. It's a terrible experience. I wish I had the green screen. I am 100% positive that both of these dudes are from the box art of Nerf rival blasters on like the back of them.
Rock.
I'm very much I'm positive these are stock images Hasbro has already taken. They just photoshopped in there. That's even more relevant with this stuff. These are all stock images. Like I'm certain of it. What a wacky thing. Yeah, I get that classic. I can't really do a whole lot with it. Popular family attraction closed until further notice. Is this the same one we're looking at? That's from the UK. In Pigeon Forge. Okay, so there's two. This one says it's coming this summer. I don't know how old this is, but this says it's coming this summer in Jersey. I don't know if that's from 3 years ago or it's 2025. It's impossible to tell. So that's the weird thing. I know that it had other ones, and it does look like it's I'm gonna click on these Facebook posts. The action in Pigeon Forge might not be blasting off at all. Despite early buzz, no plans have been submitted for construction. This is a terrible idea. Is this a good idea? Didn't they already have like Nerf action experience? I think there was one in Texas. I know that because I have blasters from it. And I don't think it really ever did anything. Is that the Pigeon Forge? Is that in Texas? I have no idea. And then this one, the popular family attraction in Greater Manchester has been forced to temporarily close due to a technical issue. The Nerf Action Experience opened in the Trafford Palazzo in September 2023, based on the Nerf toy franchise, a 35,000 square foot venue. Jeez, and battleground arenas. But those wanting to visit the family attraction, my amount of message was informed that they're currently unable to purchase tickets due to technical issues. So this was also a thing. How I've like not seen anything about this. I think that just goes to show how bad Nerf is doing right now. Tennessee? Okay, gotcha. That's close to your home turf, right? Are you confident this is really a Hasbro venture? I mean, that's actually totally fair, but I think the main takeaway that Hasbro is in deeper than them just licensing out their name is this. Right? Because even if this was like, oh, well, we're already making this cool blaster and we have no line to put it in since we're saying that N-Series is the future of Nerf, you guys can have these unique blasters through the Nerf Action Experience. Or, more likely, they like, this is the Nerf Action Experience blaster, we're making it for you guys. They wouldn't do that if it wasn't somewhat more deep of a Hasbro venture. I just don't see Hasbro not having any kind of hands-on with it and still making a blaster like this for it. Granted, this doesn't have Nerf action experienced and blazoned on it or anything, but, you know, there's a lot of ways it could have went down. Was announced before Elite 2.0. It's so weird. Like, I'm not saying it can't work, but it could. If you have an urban enough area, you have high scores, you have replayability, it was a decent price. Yeah, I could see it. I could see that working. I personally love Nerf target shooting. I just can't imagine doing that with a blaster that doesn't shoot straight. So that's got to be fun. The Jersey one is someone trying to pull a fast, lazy on a dart arena and appropriating trademarks without permission. It very well could be. You're right, because everything there looked super fake. It's just weird that they ripped the models from the Nerf Wii game and superimposed them. I mean, you're right. It's just wild that it's like they have this weird grenade launcher mega looking thing and then a frickin' strike fire. Like, that's so wacky. I mean, that tracks. Maybe if you just type in Nerf 3D model, you get all the ones from the game and they chose the most logical looking one. Kind of strange how Gelfire and Super Soaker has more effort put into them than Nerf itself. Well, not modern Super Soaker. Everybody keeps talking about the new Super Soakers like they're good, and I've not seen good from them. You're right, Dorian. You're absolutely right. I mean, this does say 2023 on it. Fantastical that this was in the marks. Like, this existed when Elite 2.0 was a thing, because this is not an Elite 2.0. This is full-fledged, awesome, classic Nerf. That's bizarre to me. Nerf is so weird now. Crony it. I haven't even fired it yet. But there is a Freddy right there. And I do have a big box of the Zuru darts. Is that okay? I've heard it. I heard it fires pretty hot. Freddy in his spider mode. Because I had to put down the table, and then I realized I could just put a different tripod on him, and it's like, oh, that would work better. It's not as easy to puppeteer him, though. Okay, well. There's a thing, it rotates on the prime, I'm guessing. Oh, it rotates the other way, cool. I mean, this is with, the not right darts, but why not? 67? I might have hit the side of the chronograph. It's a little hard to... This is definitely monkey. 72.5? These are not the right darts. I don't know if I'd call these good darts. They're okay darts. $75.2. 76.2. Seems to be getting better as I fire it. Well, Freddy just died. You okay, buddy? Alright, his eyes are still attached, and they're not cracked. I'm running out of Freddy eyes. I gotta put him back on his perch. Man, this tripod sucks. So bad. Now, it's no strong arm, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't at least try it. AI generated. I think they're photoshopped. This might be fun. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's definitely an interesting blaster. Why it exists and how it got to this point, I'm unsure. Is this like I was never meant to have this blaster, I guess would be the clickbait title? Is that a reasonable title, I feel? How did this happen? Stay. It rotates in the opposite direction of basically every other modern Nerf revolver. Okay, so it wasn't just me. Okay. Considering there's no EN experience in the Nerf action experience, I guess we'd call it the NAX. That Nerf action, the NAX, NAX. I like the Nax, because that's also boss in no, that's Nex, damn it. I was just gonna say that's a RuneScape raid. What a weird idea for a amusement thing. Kids would much rather just go to Dave & Buster's. We were also certainly not meant to have them. Okay, I think that's a fair, like, clickbaity title, because we really aren't. They weren't made for the general public. And I honestly... Here's the thing. Is there any people that actually went to one? Are there video reviews out there? Can we... Because I don't remember seeing a single piece of media about any of these Nerf experiences. I remember them being announced, and I never saw, like, oh, here's the Nerf action experience. Oh, this is so cool. I think, like, Sophie did, like, a couple of shorts, and then, like, I don't remember seeing, like, the general public, like, here we are, the Nerf action experience. I never saw that. Like, I just... Were these actually a thing? Like, they were, but they also weren't? I found a TripAdvisor review. Is it great? Can you link it to me? Can you send it to me in Discord? There's a video on Manchester. Okay. But you would think you'd see more, right? Thank you, buddy. Not recommended. Hope this was going to be good, but what a disappointment. We were expecting to be able to use some of the more fun Nerf guns, but the only guns you get to use are these basic pistols that need manual reloading. The guns were awful. Most darts couldn't fire or fired 3 feet, and then you had to scramble on the floor for some darts and spend 30 seconds reloading. As an adult, it's a complete ripoff. We left 20 minutes early. Oh, and there's a response. Thank you for your feedback. I'm sorry to see that you did not enjoy your time at Nerf Action Experience. Could you please email manchester@nerfax.co.uk and we can discuss this further with you. Thanks, Nerf Action Experience customer service team. Well, there's 150. Oh no. Oh God, I wish I had the green screen set up. This one's from Barry S. as of May 2025. Be careful. 1 star. Booked a party for £400 and now it's showing as closed. Nobody has been in contact and all email addresses are rebounding. Absolute nightmare and is a disgrace on their behalf. Laura, as of April. 1 star. Daylight robbery. Pre-booked and paid £100 for my son's birthday party. No contact, no refund, nothing. Nerf action experience, please contact those you have taken your money from. Discussing behavior, you should be ashamed. Trafford Plaza, equally awful. How could you possibly have no contact details for a company you partner with? I agree. And Fritz 2015 as of April 2025. Appalling! 1 star. Turned up yesterday to find the place closed. We had no email or contact with them or to refund or cancel our booking. They have lied to the management of the Trafford Center, telling them they are contacting people and giving them refunds. Eddie L, 1 star. Ask for help, got canceled, but no refund. Ask for help. We have prepaid for our son's birthday party, but received cancellation notice at the end of March. Their email said they would refund shortly, but as of now, no refund received. I tried to send email to them, but I was surprised that their email's not working anymore. Their Facebook profile is also deleted. No working telephone number also. In short, by no means can contact them. Can anyone advise on what to do and what I should do? Let me see if I could go down. Okay, February 2025. I'll skip up because there is one in between. 5 stars. My boy had a fab birthday party at NERF. The host was friendly and very helpful. Thanks, Judy, for looking after everything so well. We had a great time at NERF today. So that kind of tells you, Hasbro, that these people are literally conflating this building, this whole organization, with you specifically. Even if it's not written by NERF, it looks bad on you. But there was one from Manda Tierney in March of 2025, the only March one. 1 star, robbing people. Literally robbing people. Turned up on the 22nd March for my son's birthday with his friend. We pre-booked the tickets to turn up for it to be closed down. No email, no nothing to say it was closed. Website stated they could be in contact immediately with refunds or to rearrange. Haven't received anything. There's no number, no email, no nothing. Just took my money and disappeared completely. It's disgusting. Can't get hold or in contact with anyone. I've never seen anything like it. Avoid this company at all costs. But here's Robert, February 2025. He has pictures. Oh my gosh. That's not NERF. This does look like NERF. There's like other people. I guess these are posted publicly. There's actually quite a few pictures. There's like 70 something pictures here. Interesting. Interesting. So it looks like it was an actual thing. How much NERF is actually there, I'm not quite sure. When it was opened, it looks like people actually did like it. A day pass is not worth it. I want to see prices. That's what I'm hoping to find. Day pass not worth it, 3 stars. On the positive side, this is quite a fun experience. There are 4 different zones, 2 of which involve really fun team-based battles with gel guns. Only one zone actually uses NERF, and you'd probably recognize it through Training Ground, and the sports arcade has nothing to do with NERF at all and felt like filler. We had purchased a day pass that promised to open entry and ability to come and go as you please. In reality, though, you can't just wander around. Instead, you have to be part of a group. This means you have to repeat all 4 zones in order. You cannot, for example, stick to the battle zones, which are actually the best bits. We did 2 rounds of all 4 zones in the morning, but admittedly, after returning in the afternoon, ended up walking out because the group we got lumped into had already done the best battle zone. The impression I got was that it was the staffing wasn't set up to actually manage VIP gold band guests, despite the website pushing these sales. I'd also add that some of these groups we ended up with or against in the battle arenas were awful cheats. There's no policing on this, and it really ruins the games. My tip is to just be honest. By the way, it's mainly the adults that cheat, not the children. Here's one from January. It says, poor in every aspect, 1 star. Straight off the bat, brought my own Bally Ballistics goggles, rated for 350 FPS Airsoft, and was told I couldn't use them because they might break. As I wear glasses, these Bally goggles fit over my glasses perfectly. Surprise, surprise, the awfully cheap goggles they have tested were an additional £3 on top of the entry fee. They don't fit over the glasses well and were completely useless. Alternatives were sourced, but I felt the money grab immediately. I paid £40 for 2 of us, and we went to the first area, which was mainly large projector screens with short target-based games on. Broken blasters everywhere. Completely useless darts that have been fired and trod on too many times. Darts that flopped out at the end of the blasters due to failures and some areas with software issues, so the games didn't work at all. Maintenance, upkeep, and reinvestment aren't a priority here. That is evident. That makes sense. It's definitely a hard thing to really make your money back on with all this tech and stuff like that. The second area is pointless. Basketball, football, climbing wall, and a reaction test. Absolutely nothing to do with NERF. On to the games, or should I say loosely ruled cheat fests. The guy giving out the rules shouldn't have bothered. Kids are not taking hit when it was absolutely obvious they had been hit, firing at point blank on full auto, not responding in the right areas. It was absolute chaos. At one stage, I had a kid who'd I'd hit several times and witnessed flinched, come up and point blank aim at my head and unload a few rounds. Jail fire doesn't hurt us all as an adult, but the principles of the games and rules were designed to make it fun for everyone, right? I would recommend this if you want to waste 20 pounds and keep your kids occupied for an hour and a half while you shop. Otherwise, it's absolutely nothing worth traveling for. I'm seriously surprised Nerf hasn't mandated the N1 series blasters, considering they're their newest range. I would be a good showcase, especially considering they haven't been received as well as Hasbro intended. I guess both the owners and Hasbro have lost interest in this venture, much like they have in other countries. I'd surprised if this place is still going in 12 months. Well, ATD, it didn't last another 3. If you want to get properly organized games, there are plenty of Nerf dart battle blasting events nationally that offer far more value for money and are much better games and wider game types. Nerf AX certainly isn't that. Wow. The failed Nerf scan event. I could do an entire video on this. This is amazing. 10-year-old hit hard with dodgeball. 2 stars. 10-year-old hit hard with dodgeball. 2 stars. I took my 10-year-old nephew. He was hit hard with dodgeball by a fully grown adult. They mix people of all ages in dodgeball session. The adults get carried away. Dodgeball is a very dangerous session for children unless there's a clear age and ability section. A general manager responds. Hi, thank you for your feedback. I'm so sorry to hear your nephew was hurt with a dodgeball. We have decided to change this zone to a football zone and will be rotating different Nerf-themed sports in this room in the future. What future? We will use your feedback to help train our team, what training, to ensure that we can deliver the best experience possible. What experience? If you would like to discuss this more, please email our customer service team where you'll be promptedly ignored. Oh, man. Then here's the 5-star. Loved it because of Omar. He was so funny to greet me and my friends. Loved it. 5 stars. I love Nerf so much because the staff were all super friendly, especially Omar. Shout out to Omar. He was so helpful and now out of a job. Definitely recommend going again. Most of these are actually getting responses, but this is like last October and stuff like that. And they're all 5 stars. I want to find bad ones. Here's a picture. I don't want to show this. Yeah, Jamie H. from October 2024. 1 star, shot in the face multiple times. What do you expect is going to happen? My little boy was shot repeatedly in the head and face by another child. This was reported and nothing was done. We also asked for a refund as my child was upset and wanted to leave. No refunds given, only credit to come back again and be shot in the face. Staff not really experienced to deal with this problem. We were just told no refunds and were given an email. I'm not sure why the staff didn't just remove the child shooting people in the face. Probably because there's 1 or more in every single game. Hi, Jamie. I'm so sorry this situation wasn't dealt with or better, since we sincerely apologize for the experience you both had that day. We are very clear about the rules with our battles, and I'm sorry these weren't followed. Blah, 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 blah. Tom, with a save yourself the stress and book Laser Zone instead. Shots fired, and this time they're little laser beams that go pew pew. We came to this as a family of Nerf lovers, and were completely disappointed at the shoddy management of the place. Save yourself the stress and just book Laser Zone instead. The venue is strange since it's well designed and built, but it feels like other stuff has been tacked on cheaply. Lots of equipment that doesn't work, balls that are falling apart, signs that are cheaply laminated and blue tacked onto walls. It's like a lot of money was poured into it at the start, and then they ran out of funds while they were doing the finishing touches / running it. The arenas are so poorly managed. One person marshalling 30+ players in an arena better suited for 5v5, with no means of easily proving that you hit someone. It just leads to an absolute free-for-all where there really isn't any game being played and cheating is rampant. I genuinely seen amateur people run more organized Nerf games. You also get herded round the 4 zones like cattle, so you can't spend longer in one zone if you like it. The scheduling was so poorly done that we only got 10 minutes in the Nerf target zone, and they were stuck for 20 minutes in the game zone that had nothing to do with Nerf, ? The Nerf target zones were so poorly stocked, and many couldn't be played due to no bullets / damaged bullets. Finally, it's a bit penny pinching. You have to pay for goggles, you have to pay for a locker, and if you tell them that it's your birthday, you just get given an automatic gun in the arenas, making it completely unfair for anyone else. Holy crap! It's my birthday, give me a better gun! Oh. There was a response to that by a general manager, but it's just the same boilerplate thing. It seems they're just copying and pasting them now. Laser Quest is a better value for money. There are not enough guns/activities for everyone in the training area, leaving some kids trying to find something to do, and there's not enough time to be doing this. In the zones, there are unfair matches, i.e. a full team of 5 to 7-year-olds pitched against teens adults, leading to the kids being hit in the face repeatedly with no warnings this year, and so much rule breaking, which the younger kids found frustrating. When flagged to the staff, they seem to find our concerns funny, despite having multiple kids in tears from being shot at close range in the face, and this hurts. The idea of winners and losers in games is ludicrous. It is impossible to police the rule breaking, so no penalties applied, leading to cheating teams winning. It's literally a guessing game by the staff, and there's no as to who won, as no penalties are applied. Laser Quest is fair and accurate, a better value for the money and a load of rubbish. And charging £3.50 for an item, I guess £3.50 for an item that is an essential in order to play is ridiculous, and I agree with that. Incorporate it into price or make it free where you return at the end. So you got to keep the goggles? You paid for them, I guess? Great party for my 10-year-old. The staff were very helpful, and with the extra mile, they made the whole experience fun. Here's him eating chicken. Here's him holding a... Wow, that's a Nerf Hyper Blaster. I think it's the Fuel? And then he's the same kid with a Nerf Gelfire. Looks like a Legion. Not for 5 and 6-year-olds, despite them saying it is. Well, obviously not. You're literally talking about games where anybody can shoot anybody else, and then sports games, which kids aren't going to be, at that age are going to be good at. Oh my god, this one has like an entire, paragraph. Wow, this is from August 2024. So it says, not for 5 and 6-year-olds, despite them saying it is, from AB. Took my 5-year-old, he is 6 next month. Do not go here with young children. The guns cannot be used as they are too difficult to load, and in the dodgeball there are adults and much older children throwing balls hard, which hurt 5-year-olds. I was appalled by this place and cannot advise strongly enough against taking children younger than about 8. That aside, it is generally a poor experience with hardly anything to do with Nerf apart from the shop. Avoid this one as it is a rip-off. The Nerf AX team responds. Hello, Adam. Well, it says AB. Firstly, we are saddened to hear that your experience didn't live up to your expectations, and we do value your feedback. It is very important to us. Our age requirement policy has been developed to help all guests enjoy the experience with us as much as possible. As such, within this, we stipulate that all of those under 7 years old are required to have a paying adult with them in the play area. This is to help those younger players have one-on-one support and help throughout by their parent or guardian, as we can't provide that level of tailored support in navigating certain activities and gameplay in our zones. Our team will provide age-appropriate blasters like the NERF Elite Junior range, which is recommended for this age group in zones where a blaster is required, and battery-operated gel-fire blasters with easy press and automatic blasting capabilities to make those battle experiences more enjoyable, which your child was offered and used. They seem to know this. We are a family entertainment center, which means there are inevitably going to be mixed age ranges participating. Our team operate using a red-yellow card system and whistles to help fair gameplay. Well, apparently none of this was used, according to all the reviews. Which helps in zones and assists with managing unruly and or more boisterous gameplay by the older participants. We also have posters on wall which are highly visible near the zone entrances to communicate appropriate gameplay, and apparently nobody reads those. Everything within Nerf Sports product range are appropriate as the Nerf Blaster product range for 90 minutes of active play across 90 minutes? Damn! Across 5 purpose-built zones with our 14 individual games and Nerf products suitably for varying ages, and an entertainment team that are always proactively encouraging younger players to take part and enjoy, as well as addressing foul play. We feel the experience is a real value for money in terms of the entrance fee. We do hope you come back again utilizing our complimentary passes that we gave you at the end of your 90-minute session yesterday and give us another try. All right, this response was personal. That's where that came from. Man, these are gold. Thank you for sending this, Eb Quintic. Had a blast. Laura was so helpful. Fantastic. Amazing experience. Amazing. Super cool. A great fun for all. Amazing. Oh, this one does show. Oh, those goggles look awful. I wonder if you got to keep those. Yeah, so they give you like a barrel of what looks to be Nerf gel fire, both the dual pistols, although you just grab one, and the Nerf gel fire Legion. That is their option for play. A lot of these have nothing to do with Nerf. Yeah, this is wacky. They do have people like showing people how to run stuff. It does look really good. Like I'm surprised that they failed at this. The experience in Pigeon Forge in Tennessee still says coming summer 2020. Interesting. 90 minutes isn't that bad. Well, yeah, they say 90 minutes, but other people are saying like 20, 30 minutes. So I'm a little confused. If you go back to August 2024, it seems like people really enjoyed it. Oh, here's one. Banana Travels. Not great at all. Staff were polite, however, once you enter, you go into a training room that has random activities that are not Nerf related, most of which were occupied mostly by adults, so our two little boys had to do the basketball shooting as that was the only that was what was available. Then we did some shooting activities where our 6 and 7-year-old were constantly shot out in the face and cried multiple times. They could pinpoint who was targeting them. Upon telling the staff, they merely mentioned to everyone not to aim at the face. The rules state that you cannot, and those who not follow the rules should have sat the game out. People were also not following the game rules generally, so there's no point in the activity. It was mindless running around. These activities where you shoot for the screens using Nerf guns were not well thought out, as most of the time is used reloading the 4-bullet guns. The dodgeball was also random, and again, our team was full of little ones who were being shot at with a high force from adults. We didn't realize dodgeball would be an activity, otherwise we would have thought twice. Overall, was very excited about this, and not at all what we imagined, not great at all. Customer service. We bought family tickets for 6 people, and then when we arrived, asked if we had 5 more tickets into our package. Receptionist Mr. Simon added 5 more tickets and charged us £100, which is £17.50 over than we actually paid for the 6 tickets. He could give us another family tickets for 5 and we could save a big amount. We paid around £200. He was booked to manager and refused to help poor customer service. Then a lot of 5 stars. So it seems like you either really like this place or you hate it and it was the worst thing ever. Avoid at all costs. None of the darts stayed in the guns long enough to shoot in the training area. The sports area was just kids running riot, pushing in, stealing equipment off other kids, and equipment was breaking all the time with staff arguing with each other. Even my kids wanted to leave as soon as it was way overcrowded. Well, apparently they made some money then, huh? Underwhelmed, but a bit of fun. A lot of excitement about visiting, but overall underwhelming. The games were mostly just too busy. Smaller group sizes would probably have improved it a lot. A lot of waiting around, especially as birthday party groups appear to be given priority entry to the games. Simon was great. Well, there was that last one condemning Simon, and here's one praising Simon. That's so weird. I've never seen a single bit of media besides I think a couple of Sophie Lightning posts. That is crazy. If Omar was there, that wouldn't have happened. Good one, Dizzy. What a crazy... I really wish I would have been able to go to one of these. I'm surprised Nerf doesn't even try with that kind of stuff. Send me out there. I'm a fat kid. I'll have fun. I'll get shot. I go to Jared's Epic Blaster Battle getting shot in the face non-stop by kids. It's really fun when you're clearly like in the rest area and some kid will just shoot you from the sidelines because, hey, that's that guy that was on stage, you know, an hour ago. I'm going to shoot him in the face when he's just sitting there drinking water and talking to his friends. That's interesting. Yeah, I'd never seen anything. What a joke. Don't go here. Staff not bothered. They set rules, never use them. Why play set them? Then what a joke. We had 6 minutes at the end to play. Please don't waste your money. Go to the park with the kids. Had a better time. We'll never go again. That's crazy. I wonder if they'll still open up the ones in the US. Like I said, I thought there was one in Dallas. There was one around, like, Texas. If you actually do get 90 minutes for £20, that's pretty decent. That's like, what, $30 US about? Anybody still in the chat? Seems pretty slow right now. I thought it was fun. Sorry, I got really into the Chris Conca experience. Is that the, what was the Willy Wonka thing that happened in, like, Scotland? Hey, Walcom, do you think 300 FPS gel ball sniper I'm building out of my broken Buzzbee Predator with the help of my 3D printer will make me lose my friends who scream when they hit with 230 FPS gun? LOL. I mean, I doubt it. It's gel ball. I wouldn't shoot somebody that doesn't want to be shot with a gel ball blaster, though. Nobody here but us chickens. Yeah, the Flip Willy Wonka AI expand. Okay, that was Chris something. Conka, yeah. Just, I posted reviews of the Singapore Nerf action experience in general. You might not, did you? Worst place of the century. One of the lousiest places I've ever been. Wasting your time. Games are lousy, understaffed. Wait forever just to try one lousy game, which is like 10 seconds. It's not worth your time. For the price you are paying, I would say forget it. Just don't waste the time and money. How do you F this up? How do you F this up? Wouldn't visit again, TBH. I was honestly so bad. The playground was fun, but the rest was a no. Firstly, it was a must to buy grip socks, but it was only for one station, waste of money. Secondly, you had to wear covered shoes for the rest of the stations, which was literally bad. It wasn't even fun. Overall, I seriously don't recommend. And the staff was kind of rude too. Not worth it. Too many time limitations. Understaffed. Poor staff training. All of these reviews are years old, so this place must be long gone. It looks like garbage. Quite frankly. It looks pretty awful. Looks way worse than the other one. It looks like one of those jump parks, but they just put Nerf in it. Oh, but they definitely have a store where they'll sell you everything you want to buy. Probably for an inflated cost. It's such a cute idea. Oh my god, they had like a super soaker area. It's honestly like it could be good. Like it could have been. If I was 9 years old and I went there, I'd probably think I'm in heaven. But I don't know about yeah, I really don't know if this was worth the investment, Hasbro. I wonder what was going on with this. Doesn't help products in years. The entirety of their sports lineup is either outsourced or badge engineered crap from their other OEMs. Indeed, it's not fundamentally a bad thing, but if you aren't stewarding the license, yeah, that's the weird thing. Is like, oh, we're going to be an IP company, but we're going to give our license to everything. Like seriously, every Nerf game is like one of the worst things you'll ever like experience. Does that Nerf Super Blast game still exist? It does still have a thing on thing. When was the last time it was updated? Oh my god, I don't think it's been updated in forever. It says, what's new? New season showcasing the Rex Rampage Blaster and an awesome blaster skin. Like, the Rex Rampage? Isn't that from, like, 5 years ago? Honestly, I played it quite a bit, and it was kind of fun. The Jolt was awesome, because it was, like, a sniper rifle that, like, one-shot people. But the Select was broken. The Select was like the most broken gun in the game by far. The problem I had with the game is that most of it was bots. So I didn't even feel like... I remember using like Cloak and the Select, and just in some of the matches where you have to go shoot the other team's base, I just run up to their target point blank and just unload the Select into it and win every time. You could tell if it was bots because you'd uncloak and they'd spin 180 degrees and snap to you. What's up with Nerf having dead websites? I don't think Nerf actually... Nerf doesn't even give their full attention to Nerf. Like, nobody... It seems like nobody that works at Nerf actually cares about the brand or anything anymore. Like, the idea of, like, a Nerf first-person shooter is the greatest idea they've ever had, and they just continuously screw it up. Because, like... When you play these games and you get into them, you're like, holy crap, the Nerf Select is really cool. I have a Nerf Select. I want to mod it and make it really good. Like, you would go out and buy the Nerf blaster based off the fun you had in the game with it, right? That's why they make the Roblox Nerf blasters or the Fortnite Nerf blasters, because you use the gun in Fortnite, then you see the Nerf version, you're like, I want that. Or vice versa. You buy the Nerf blaster, you like it, and you're like, I'm going to go play Fortnite and get that same gun. Yeah, why can they just not do a decent job? Like, even Nerf Super Blast should have been a slam dunk. Is this game still going? Like, I honestly, people are still reviewing it, but when I played it, it was almost entirely bots, and that was years ago. Want to see a modern Nerf Arena Blast? I tried to get a Nerf Arena Blast server going myself. Couldn't. Yeah, but Nerf Arena Blast was also just literally, you know, Unreal Tournament. I think we have looked at that before, Vesic. I just don't know why. Like, so even like have I ever told you what happened with the Nerf game on Roblox? Was it Nerf Strike? I almost wanted to sue that developer, because at the start they had like the loot boxes. We were all playing it. We were actually having a good time playing it because it was a pretty competent game. It wasn't well balanced because you had health, blasters did different amounts of damage, rate of fire, and so forth. They obviously put like the idea of balancing the game as like a second thought. I'm not quite sure what was going on there, but it was still pretty fun. A lot of us were playing it because it was better than foam FPS in a lot of ways and worse than others. But of course, it had loot boxes, and the only way to get some of the blasters were loot boxes. And at the time, I was like, screw it, I'm going to do a whole video on this, so I have to get every single Nerf blaster. And I think I spent $100, and I got almost every single one of them. I have all the footage still. And like 3 weeks later, they completely changed the way the game worked. In fact, maybe it was longer than that, but they completely changed how the game worked. The loot box, like the upgrading blasters and everything, that was completely gone. All the blasters killed in one hit. So there was like no point to even using most of it, like just simply just going to be one of the best guns and you use that one. That was like the biggest, I can't believe they could do that. They could sell like microtransaction loot boxes, then completely change how the game works. That is insane. Do I have to literally go to the Roblox like website? Because I'm not even seeing the game when I Google Nerf Strike Roblox. It doesn't pop up. Oh, it's called Foam Strike now. They lost the Nerf license on Roblox. What? I can't believe that. I honestly cannot believe that. They actually had to rebrand it because they lost the Nerf license. There's 25 people apparently still playing this game. It is dead. 85 million visits. It was last updated in April. It was created in 2021. I can't believe that this was like an official Nerf game and now it's not. Like, oh, we're gonna pull the Nerf license from this Roblox game now. That is insanity. And the entire company has only ever made one game and they don't do anything anymore. I can't believe this. It's called Foam Strike. It's on Roblox and nobody's playing it. Man. The Nerf Pranks game. I never even played that. It didn't even look like a video game. Interesting. Man, Hasbro, like, seriously. So the only game that's lasted even a little bit is the Nerf Super Blast or whatever on mobile, which like when I played it was nothing but bots. I couldn't actually get a normal video game out of it. Wow. This is the same company that wants to become some kind of multimedia digital thing instead of actual physical toys. That's their goal. And I don't think they have a single project that has ever actually been successful past that. Like, I don't think Hasbro had anything to do with like MTG Arena, did they? I'm pretty sure that existed before Hasbro, or it was done by another company. Same thing as like Baldur's Gate 3, they licensed the IP, sure, but Hasbro had nothing to do with how good it was. Monopoly Go, yeah, that uses one of Hasbro's intellectual properties, but it was developed by a company called Scopely, and it's not even a frickin' video game. I feel sorry for anyone who's put their time and effort and money into that thing. You literally press a button until you can't press a button anymore, and then you're done. Nerf Legends, yeah, that's a single player game, or well, with multiplayer. And that Nerf Legends was clearly a different game before Game Mill slapped the Nerf license on top of it. Honestly, Nerf Legends does have some kind of interesting stuff going for it, but yeah, it's a crap fest of a game, that's for sure. I still think you can have fun with it. I actually had fun on the multiplayer with it because it actually has some like advanced movement mechanics like dashing. But yeah, I can't believe that they can't put effort into anything. I prefer the Striker 2.0, Kendon. Being a multimedia company involves more than just giving your IP to a bunch of doomed to fail, underfunded, underdeveloped tie-in games. Well, yeah, that's how it was. Like, I remember, like, Nerf Arena Blast. That's good. Like, it loosely followed the Nerf license, because, like, the guns had to work certain ways, and they had to fill specific roles, so they did weird stuff with them. Like alt fires that shot gigantic freaking like dodgeballs and stuff like that. But it's like still, it's like that's a cool thing. It also wasn't common to have projectile based like games. I've actually never. I mean, I've played several hours of it, but I don't think I've ever paid attention. It was actually. I think it was actually projectile based, which is interesting. Normally, games were not all projectile based, but Nerf pretty much was. But it's like that's like that was done by Hasbro Interactive. And then like I remember playing the Battleship game quite a bit as a kid, which wasn't awful. I remember there was like a button on the keyboard that made your little machine guns on your ship fire for some reason. I don't think it actually did anything. I just like they could make their own or hire competent companies to make content like games, instead of the lowest frickin' bidder every single time. That's wild. I actually still should probably. I have all the footage from the Nerf Arena or the Nerf Strike thing. I'm probably one of the few people that has hours and hours and like 38 gigs of footage for Nerf Arena or Nerf Strike. All of the polls I did and everything, and how that game completely changed. That's wild. What a crazy idea for a company that like, oh, we're going to get so hard on multimedia franchises and we're never going to support them. The VR game, I never even got to play it. It was honestly, it had a lot going for it. The Nerf Strike game had a lot going for it, and then they just completely gave up on it for some reason. I'm not sure why. The Warden. Yeah, Warden was like freaking lethal in the Nerf Strike game. Felt great. Felt like really good to use that. Yeah, it really was. Nerf Action and finding out about that stuff. Like, because again, I've never been to one. You would think that Nerf would have flown a bunch of people out to like do videos and stuff on their Nerf Action experiences. I don't think they even tried, but obviously they apparently had little to do with it, except for making entire blasters for it. I don't understand. I get that they probably, some company pitched it to Nerf, and Nerf was like, okay. But, yeah, I don't even remember what we were doing. It's not been 3 hours. I wasn't even planning to stream for like an hour. I got Dart Zone stuff to print out now to make chain feds and do videos on those. I'm going to do those tonight. I'm going to have both printers. Well, I'm printing out a Moose. A Mammoth Greg. So I have been running printers ragged. But yeah, I'm gonna print out these Dart Zone things and get those done, because that's rad. I wonder if I should do a video on each, or should do a video, or one video each, or both in one video. I have the Nerf bath time set. I have talked myself out of like filming with it because the lighting is gonna be terrible, and it's like impossible to really make that a fun, like it would be funny, especially even if I'm like wearing like full clothes sitting in the shower with the Nerf like water blaster thing. I've thought about it. No, the Mammoth Grave will get its own video, but I mean like the Dart Zone, the Desperado and Outlaw chain feds, like they're different blasters, they're different files and stuff, but there is one for each. Did I already did? No. My wife brought home a little lunchbox thing around 11. That was the last time I ate. I know, I don't know how I keep up this stylish figure either. I barely eat. I guess it really depends, Dorian. That's the thing, is like I could probably stick them in their own videos, especially for SEO, but it's kind of hard when it's like I'd like to get like 12, 14 minutes out of a video, and one per would be a little difficult. I don't know. It's something to think about. Yeah, I'm gonna go down there. I've got some cans of like soup I'm gonna cook and have for dinner. That was my plan. Venom Pro or Striker 2.0. Completely different blasters for completely different things. Probably Striker 2.0 because it's just, you know, can do more things. Alright, well, I'm surprised Nerf hasn't gotten in the child gambling racket yet. I actually am thankful because I know xshot barely did it, and I don't know how you would do it with like the bigger blasters, but I would be totally on board with like them having like, you know, 6 or 7 different strife paint jobs, maybe even moldings, and have some that are rarer than others and sell those for 25 bucks a pop or something like that, and they would get me with that. I think that's a really cool idea if it was blind boxing. xshot did like what, micros, and that was it. I don't know how you would do it with bigger blasters, but I would be down for it. I know like xshot too, now when they stock like their new product and stuff like that, there are ones that like they're not even like blind boxed, they're open, you can see the package, but there are rarities to them, which I found interesting. So some are rarer than others, even though you can see it on the package. If you're walking through like a Hot Wheels thing, where it's like when you're walking through the aisle and you see the rare one, you can pick it up. Most people won't know if it's rare or not. Yeah, the golden one. Seems like Dart Zone's finally getting around to introducing blaster charms. Yeah, I got that thing too. I think it's a smart idea. It's just more money, and again, they can blind box that. That's fine. I'm a sucker for those. I'll buy them. I traded a Rebel Sweet Revenge for a Persuader and a Persuader for 2 hammer shots. I mean, it's probably fine. I think Sweet Revenge is better than a hammer shot, but the Persuader is definitely the loss on that. Yeah, just give me, like, little, small, high-detailed versions of blasters. Let me put, you know, a Dart Zone, you know, Nexus Pro X or something on my Dart Zone Nexus Pro X. Stuff like that. I like the skull with the old Dart Zone mask on it. That was pretty cool. Even ones that are like the Dart Zone darts. Like, they should do that. Frick, I spent like 15, 20 bucks in the finals because they had the Deagle set that looked like some kind of Buzzbee blasters, but one of the charms was clearly like an Adventure Force Pro Dart. God, I haven't played that in forever. You just want a model Nerf blaster that fits XE. I mean, yeah, technically. Those mini long shots? Oh, you mean the Nerf's the world's smallest? They're fun. I think you can still buy them online, right? Are mine worth money now? I threw all mine in a bag and threw it in a drawer after I was done with the video. That was an awful video to make, too, because everyone's like, this is not the world's smallest. Mark Rober made the world's smallest. I hate the internet. Ugh, I hate the internet. It's so weird that buying the Nerf world's smallest, they just give you random ones. That's infuriating. Not really, Jawbreaker. It's got a massive reverse plunger tube. Yes, we're aware, Tag, but the internet doesn't understand this. All right, well, I think I've had my fun. This has gone on far too long. I'm also sweating. I need to figure out how to... This is like, what, like 78 degrees. It's like, this is uncomfortable up here. I kind of need to figure out how to do this without, you know, making problems for myself. So I'm going to have to, hopefully not have to... I don't want to use the AC unit this summer. I'm hoping I can just get by with a fan. We'll see. Yeah, that sounds about right, David. I'm pretty sure the significant other is in bed, and I've got things I need to work on. I want to try to get a video out tomorrow. I have... Swamp Cooler doesn't really work in Washington because of the humidity. I have a bunch of stuff filmed. I just wasn't really feeling it when I was filming, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. So I have, like, a project open on my computer right now of 45 minutes of footage. And I think I'd have to film a ton of B-roll to make that video work. So I'm curious. But I want to try to get a video out tomorrow and Monday and the rest of the month because I'm far behind and have a lot of stuff I want to talk about. So at least there's like now a reason to do this because I can talk about the blaster and then I can talk about why it exists and how it came to be. And then I can talk about how the Nerf action experience worked in other places and why, because these exist, we might not actually ever see those things open up. It's an interesting rabbit hole. I'll have to make a little script for it. But yeah, that's actually kind of crazy. This went far deeper than I expected. So, the next video, yeah. All right. Well, you guys were awesome. I really appreciate those who stuck around and checked it out. I, again, wasn't even planning on streaming today, and it turned out to be a pretty fun one, in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I made your Saturday night suck a little bit less. And, of course, I'll unfreak myself and... get some stuff going, but I have been busy. I have been doing stuff, I assure you. Just not recording as much as I should. But I appreciate those of you that checked out the short and gave me any feedback. I saw some comments on there, so I'm going to read those. I might make one of those. I filmed like a dozen of them, so I might edit those up in a similar way. If you guys liked them, if you found them interesting, if you didn't find them interesting, there's really no point. I don't want to upload a video that's only going to get 200 views. So, yeah. I'll catch you on the server, guys. I'm Dip. I'm making a shield for Nerf. Yeah. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. Have a great night. Take care. Why, Steve? I ended the stream. Why would you super chat now? Thank you so much for the super chat, Steve, but you should have done it earlier. Also, I'll take your third super chat ever on the live stream. Thank you very much, Steve. Anything to say? I'll stay here for a minute. You can type something up. Otherwise, we got Samurai Dog coddling a trophy. Don't be shy, Steve. You got my full attention right now. You gotta be something. Thank you very much, Steve, and to you as well. You have a better one. How about that? Thank you.